I know he hasn't. I'm waiting for him to press start.
Crack on.
Go.
Good evening and welcome to this week's thrilling instalment of A Night with the Three Legends and a special guest, also known as the Always Smiling Podcast Faces.
That was actually probably the worst entrance we've ever had, and I'm not even lying. I know we say that about everything, but the Three Legends.
Three Legends.
Remember the Three Legends?
Three Legends, yeah.
It was a min show, that.
Do you reckon?
Oh, it was class.
Is it not on anymore?
Nah, Total Sport.
I don't drive. I don't drive, so I've got no idea what happens on the radio these days.
You don't know what radio
Nah.
is?
The sack after the sack Gatesy went downhill, didn't it?
Who?
Gates, Eric Gates.
Who did they get on to replace him again?
You're older than me, like. Hospital.
Mickey Horseface or something.
Aye.
What's he called?
Hospital or something.
That's our real name.
Horse something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mickey Horseface.
Whistle.
Aye, Mickey. What was it?
Horse whistle?
Horsley.
Something like
Something
that.
to do with horses.
No, I thought it was quite good, mate. Like,
No, it used to be
it
good.
was alright, eh?
No,
and
it wasn't.
Yeah, it was, man.
Then the sack Bernie after that, didn't he?
Bernie, was alright.
And then that was it. And then didn't they do a comeback? Bernie, Supermac and Eric Gates went on to like Star Radio or something on the Tinterweb.
Star Radio.
Ah, it's like an internet radio
Sounds
station.
like an Indian radio station.
I think it
Was
was
racist, like?
No.
it was based in Durham, I think. Anywho, I digress.
It was really bad though.
No, it used to be good.
It was
I
just
like
like
it.
the shite that we've got now. Like
Which is?
like dinosaurs and everything.
Dinosaurs
No.
or anything.
Aye.
What, like T-Rexes?
Like Sky Sports are pundits, they're all dinosaurs.
No, but you used to have fans ringing in, though. Which is
Aye,
that's
and
different.
embarrassing every single fan base.
nah.
So how's this different to what they've got now? The last time I heard BBC Newcastle, it was John Anderson, Gabbiadini, and some fetus talking about how all teams have got, every team have got beaten that week. He was like, well, you know, it's quite bad for the region, obviously, but they're not doing too well. And people were ringing up and
The
crying.
thing with them,
And it was exactly the same as
Oh,
the Three
actually, yeah,
Legends.
they do. I don't listen to that
This is
one,
just the
but
two legends now.
Aye.
Is that
who fell
that's
off?
Total Sport?
Was
isn't
it Boros?
Gary Bennett, I think.
Gary
Gary Bennett? No, he's
Gary Bennett
he's
coached
still
me
on,
at
isn't he?
uni, but I've signed things to not talk about that. Sorry. It's none of my
I'm sure he's
business.
still on, isn't he, Gary Bennett?
I don't know. I don't listen to it.
Does he not do the commentary?
No, he's
for the
on for
match?
Sunderland. He just
Aye,
sounds
just
bent as
Sunderland.
out. Just
Like, as in, corrupt.
no.
Gabbiadini
Gay.
definitely does the...
Wow, you can't say that, man.
Allegedly, you can get away with
Why,
anything.
why not? No, what I'm saying, he sounds
Did I
very
say
camp,
allegedly?
sorry.
Alright, yeah.
Sorry about that one.
Is
Apologise.
he on about the gays again?
No, shit.
Yeah, me.
No, I meant like the way he sounds though. He is very camp, isn't he, the way he comes across?
John Anderson.
Comes across what?
All I
exactly?
remember about John Anderson being on that is the fact that he defended Pardew.
Who did?
Anderson.
Oh,
Every opportunity he defended Pardew.
Nah,
that-
not every
He
opportunity.
did, like. The thing, Total Sport went through a thing where they were shit scared to say anything bad about the club because it was when the club was bad and everyone left, right, and centre.
Yeah. Well, then you know.
Do you know,
They,
like, when
they would never have banned the commentary, though.
the banned the Chronicle, man. No, the
Oh,
commentary
but-
wasn't there at the time, was it?
The band The Chronicle?
It's like a word.
There's nothing sick.
Dun, dun.
What about Lee? What about Lee?
This is all getting quite intense, this. See, what's the last couple of these? And I was like, oh, they've spoken about wrestling the last two times. They're trying to they're laying the groundwork for a nice, easy introduction for us. That'll be fine for me. Like Chronicle, Gary Bennett's gay. It's just. I said if there was anything I needed to know before I came on, could you send us the notes? I'll be fine. It'll be fine.
We thought you got the gay memo. Like, why you?
Dressed like, where am I dressed like a pack of Raban bottle? You know?
I was thinking more Jean-Paul Gaultier.
That's the one.
Yeah, I think that's what you meant, though.
Even Brighton's fell off the table.
I know. I was just going to say, Brighton have gone down.
Do you want to... Fucking wish. Do you want to talk about wrestling? Shall I have 5 minutes?
No, God, I've got to do that later.
Went down quicker than knockout. That didn't it? Do you know what I mean?
That's a diving joke. That's fine. Yeah,
Dive,
good. I was a bit worried there.
diving.
That's
Great.
quick as you want.
Allegedly. My last
What
is
have I
quick.
walked in on?
Did you not meant me?
That went straight out of your head. Doesn't matter. Right, so shall we talk about football?
I go on.
Can do, right?
Spoil me.
Well, we're kind of way in a way, in a roundabout way.
John Anderson
just
definitely defended Pardew.
Talking about football,
He was in
the past
you
terms.
know what used to be the club shop back when days were really good, and then it closed down now to pub, isn't it? What they call it?
Which
What's it
one?
called?
Terrace.
Terrace. Aye. I was in there before Derby Day one time, and he
Was
was
that,
on
that
there.
wasn't the club shop, was it?
Well,
Ah,
of
used
course
to
it was,
be.
years
Caught in
ago,
that corner, right?
Yeah.
I thought you meant the one in
the
Monument Mall.
The exit then, well, where the exit is now, the Terrace Bar, so you'd go in there, that was the club shop next to, like where it is.
What used to be the
Terrace
club
Bar is.
shop now?
You what, sorry?
What was where the club shop is now?
there wasn't anything. I think it was just, even Shiraz Bar wasn't there back in them days. It was just a wall.
Yeah, it was a wall.
Because back in them days it wasn't like,
it was just
a wall. It was.
Because did that not become the museum or something where the terrace is?
A museum?
What the fuck did we put in the
It was like a
museum?
museum thing.
Trains from the 60s and that went down.
Right,
But I've got now to put in a museum.
Like a Newcastle United
I
museum.
remember that being a museum with like
He's all over us. Like,
What, the Metro in
I've never known there being a
this is
museum with a
obviously
ground.
when
the Metro
when the
came to
standards-
inside on.
that fucking the Romans, Greek mythology.
it must have been a canny small museum. Like they could have put that museum in the cash point. That's just around the corner.
I bet it was probably
You
all
remember
that
that,
memorabilia.
I remember the club shop being there, right?
I can't remember.
How man. You must have, man. It was really good then.
There are
as well,
3
the
club shops. You had the one in Monument Mall,
Yep.
which is really good. You had the one at the start of Eldon Square, which always used to have
I
like
remember that one.
the
I was
really
tiny.
cheap chuck away
Yeah.
shirts in.
Yeah.
They had the little one in the
Outlet
ground.
store.
That's
Because on the way out, that one
That's
used
a
to like
perfume
go
shop
along,
now.
like,
Aye.
because I met Jonas and that in there because he was signing shit and that. And that was when actually was like
Just
Really,
take
that's
well,
quite
actually, it
difficult
wasn't
to write on, isn't it?
feces to him.
no, it was
Sign that
before.
Been out in the
Put your
sun
John
for a while.
Hancock on that.
Yeah, true. The Metro Centre as well had one, didn't they? So we used to have the Metro Centre Monument Mall, which was a mint one.
Metro
Then
Centre
Eldon
still
Square, then the club, and now then.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Because
It's not.
should do.
When did that
Years
shut
now.
down?
Years ago.
No,
Was
not
there
yet.
last year, like?
It was
Nah,
about
it
8 months ago, give or take. Honestly,
No,
it
it was longer than that,
Nah,
man.
was there last year?
I tell you
I was in Christmas.
I wasn't there at Christmas.
Bought a stocking.
Wasn't.
Honestly, about 8 months
I'll
ago.
tell you when
I
it
swear.
moved is when they moved the Sports Direct from next to Burger King over to next to IKEA.
I'm sure I was there last
Oh
year.
my!
Well, that wasn't
what?
years ago.
Which Sports Direct? Which Burger King? And which?
In the Metro Centre.
In the Metro
Aye.
Centre.
In the Metro Centre.
Where you come in like TK Maxx and Wilkinson's.
The one that's actually in the Metro Centre.
It was like under the next
Used
to
be
pound. You had
up
the
and
pound
down.
shop,
Aye.
and it was in the corner there, 2
The
floors.
big one in the corner.
Yeah, now it's DW
Now
Sports
it's
now. Which also
our-
do the
the-
best U96 tops. Have you seen them? So the U96 and you can get like the 8 print on the front and they've got like Gaza or Shira 9, but it's the same font as U96.
Proper classic.
Absolutely class they are.
Does it have the proper logos on though?
It doesn't have Umbro.
Because
That's the
you
only
see,
downside.
because I've seen all these people walking about with it, like our 96, 95
Yeah.
kits. I'm like, oh, I
You've
love
got the
them.
real ones.
And they've got I've got home and away, the proper ones.
Yeah.
See people wearing near stripes on it, near Adidas. Shan.
What you do though, you just buy it off another kit.
I mean, I can.
whack it on.
Right,
You just
that's
go on
inventive.
eBay.
I can respect that. I can respect the ingenuity, but
Still
God,
not,
I bought one off eBay before.
still not official, is it?
And it was it said on the thing, it said it was a large. So it came, honestly, I could have fit the car in it. Like it was.
Aye, because
What's
it was
a
a fit.
90s
Back
large?
then,
That's a
bigger
90s
than
large.
isn't it?
So the players' sleeves were hanging down, yeah.
Well, I've got the blue one, and I had to do that. And it's like here somewhere. But
Like a wizard
and
snake.
it absolutely reeked as well. Like oh god.
Have you not washed it?
Well, of course I did. But
Not you, the person you were buying it
oh,
off.
well, obviously not. Like it was as if he had his dog in it or something, and just let his dog roll around in it.
It might be in that bloke that goes outside St James's Park and puts his.
Hey, I haven't
dogs
seen
in.
him for ages. Mind saying that I haven't been in the...
He looked like he was due a heart attack, like.
Well,
wasn't
I hope
there
you're
really,
alright,
was
mate,
he?
if you're watching.
He was a
She
big
was.
bloke.
sorry, there's a bloke outside St James as well. Puts his dog in a top.
mate.
No. 2 dogs.
Every
Two in
single-
the
Two
same
dogs.
two dogs in the same
one
top. In
right?
one top.
2 dogs, 1 top.
No, it's not.
I'm sure that's on the internet somewhere.
Oh.
Reverse pantomime cow,
There's
basically.
what type of dogs are the big
They're like
bastard dogs?
Collie
aren't they?
things, aren't they?
Aye, they're like the
sheepdog things.
That paint dog.
Well,
they're
Bodie's
just-
got
no,
one.
no,
Bodie's not a
not
big
them.
dog. I used to.
No, man,
Great Dane.
English
They're big.
sheepdog. English
Sheepdog?
sheepdog? What did you... Them like...
They've a border collie. A sheepdog.
Yeah, sheepdogs
looks
are
like
border
that,
collie.
black
Like.
They're not the black and white collies.
Well, I had one.
Thinking of a collie cross.
They're a sheepdog. Them are the ones that.
What's Border collie's a
no,
sheepdog?
the
Aye.
English sheepdog.
That's a grey one.
That's like that big Dulux thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Something like that, isn't it? But it's like
They're
the
not
black.
a sheepdog. They're not.
I'm sure they're called English
Durex
sheepdogs,
dog.
them. Aye.
You know, I watched the Arsenal highlights right before I left out. All fresh in my mind. I should have put fucking crufts on.
You guys gotta wait
Should
until
have
we
fucking
get
crufts
at
on.
least 20 minutes, half an hour in this before we start talking about the
We'll
match.
best get started. Sorry about this.
No, but aye.
But anyway, but
the bloke with
finish this
dogs.
point.
Right. What happens? He comes with his wife, right?
Or his mum. This is part of the
We don't know if
debate.
it's his mum or he might listen. You know? We don't know if
If you
If you
just be his
please,
friend.
can you like?
possibly.
Well, could it be his girlfriend or is it his mum?
It's
Aye,
either
that
his
we
mum
don't
or
know.
his wife.
We
We're
don't
not
know.
sure.
All right, okay. How
I
old's the
reckon
guy?
it-
How old's the guy?
The guy, I'd probably say mid-40s.
And I do want to know where.
Older or younger than the
Late
Undertaker.
40s to 50s.
So measure it off.
Right, so we'll say he's 50. But she looks a
Let's
bit
say- let's say
older.
40 years.
Nah, she's not like 70.
She's in her 60s.
She's not
That's why I
70.
said it's his mum.
But nah, must be his lass.
Nah, I reckon it's his mum.
In where it's St James's.
Right, opposite she
know where the
Do you know
food-
where the billboards?
You know where the food
billboards are?
bank is?
Aye.
Oh,
Just
right,
there.
okay,
Just
right.
right next to
Aye,
there.
behind the Maybe
On
that's
the
why
burger
they
bar.
shifted.
Probably why I didn't see
they're
it.
probably
The
shifted,
food
aye.
banks there all the time.
Just clicked on. Aye, right. What happens every single week? Him and his mum stroke lass come over.
Him and his
Him
female.
and his mum's stroke lass.
Aye.
I bet
come
they
over the two big dogs, right? Fully kitted, very full kit
The
dogs.
dogs, right? I'm nowhere of like the dogs wear shirts and
A
scarves.
scarf, right?
Would you
Well,
say
my
fully
skin
kitted?
to the match.
I was going to say
It's not wearing
shorts and
shorts
socks. No, 'cause that'd be weird, that wouldn't it?
Socks.
That'd be awful.
These are
I don't buy an extra kit just for the socks.
these are the John Terry of dogs.
I'm about to buy 4 kits just in case.
Sorry for the shower there. Do you have
Aye, right.
Sorry,
She comes up, right? They both come, right? Dogs. Don't say a word. Like, they don't talk.
Don't say a word.
Alright, enjoy the match, lads.
I should have said they don't make a noise, right?
Okay.
Proper peaceful dogs, right? The second
Jags! They're from action all of a sudden.
the second he turned his back, right? For some reason he walks up the other direction. So you walk away, and as soon as he walks away, the dogs go mental.
Go
don't they? Like,
absolutely
proper
ballistic.
barking from this poor old wifey lass, whatever she is,
Getting
dragged
dragged
away
around
by
the
these
streets.
2 dogs, right? The scarf's all over.
He knows,
Then
he's
what he
laughing.
does, he walks up to the Gallowgate.
He
So
goes,
he's
he
above.
goes to the Bobby
Nine
statue,
more?
doesn't he, and up them stairs.
So the dogs are still watching him, and he's at the top waving down at his dogs.
The dogs literally follow him.
Sure, and the dog just spent all that money on kits and they don't bother getting a season
I
ticket.
know, they don't even go on the ground.
Waste of
It's
money.
not like
that.
that Macam dog.
Right, so what,
Text them in Shiraz.
what's the reason for all of that though? Is it charity? They got a bucket or something? What's the problem? Like, what are they doing?
Might have a bucket.
So he's just walking up there and waving for no reason.
He's waving by to the dogs and his man.
Or does he go in the ground though?
He goes into the ground with
Oh,
the match.
right, at least
So
he
dropping
guys
them
in the
off.
ground. I thought he was just going to wave and then come back.
Just pads and waves and come
I
back.
think his dog might get a game.
You're talking about some fool who dresses his dogs up with scarves on?
Oh.
I mean, this guy could be doing anything. He could be
think,
shagging the dogs, I didn't
Do you
know.
think they're just like going around and
Allegedly.
thinking, oh, if Newcastle get really bad, me dogs might get a game. They've got the kit.
Get the shitties on.
There'll be people listening who have to know who this fella is. And
I'm going to
see
look out
that
for the next
match.
time I go.
Look out for him.
No, but he hasn't been for God knows how
Oh,
long.
you got into the match for like 3 hours before
Oh yeah,
kickoff.
I
didn't you?
really don't know.
Are you one of them?
Aye.
Not like,
I'm-
I was really aggressive. One of them.
I'm in the platinum club, so I go in early because it's.
Oh, you one of them? God, you-
So,
Gets it in again.
That's why he's wearing Cheetos.
Typical Tory.
I'm in the platinum.
I am not a Tory. Yeah, I'll have you know.
Just sit with him.
Yeah, so with them,
Just sit with him.
Yeah, he's not a Tory, but his dad is.
he's not like it. all.
Fucking hell, right.
But those dogs are classic. I forgot about those dogs for a little while.
Aye, but then we saw them after the match once, didn't we?
Oh,
So like some
Couple of
she
cows in the right
He was
naked.
walking down.
getting dragged
Drive
down.
by the dogs like.
Do you know who she's like? She's like that bald fella off Purely Belter. For the dogs.
Oh, I can't think of him.
What? The one that bites his nose?
Vinnie Jones.
I've definitely seen this
Purely
right Purely
Belter?
Belter.
Yes. There's a
that not
bald
Billy
fella.
Elliot?
Isn't Purely Belter the Celine Dion? She, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought we
Okay.
were going to say the Celine Dion.
The Celine Dion movie.
The one where the 2 lads when they get the season tickets.
Yes.
Aye.
Uh-huh. But
Not
the
gold.
dog, what's the dog called?
Shearer.
Shearer.
The dog's not called
I
Shearer.
knew we were going to.
I'm sure the dog's called
No,
Shearer.
it's called like
Robert.
no, what's
Rolly.
the dog called? I don't know, but it's not called Shearer.
I'm sure it is.
It's not, man.
Ferdinand.
It's called like
Do you know what?
It's just weird to hear that film get brought up
Alan.
without somebody doing the pound sketch.
that is a mint sketch, to be fair, and it's not just any funny magnet. It's
There's Alan bloody Shearer's funny magnet. Both Mackems, them kids, you know.
Anna.
Really takes the edge off that, doesn't it?
Aye,
Thanks
disappointing,
for
isn't
telling
it?
us that. I
But
didn't
good.
know that.
Do you not know
How
that?
can you not tell the voices?
Well, I watched it when I was about 10, so
Well, you've never watched it since.
no.
What we should do, we should
No.
what we'll do, we'll write to the club. We'll not get an answer. Like we'll write to the club and say, how can we do a promo for the podcast? Like just turn all the lights off, and we'll just dig the pitch up at the end of the season.
Why do you want to do that?
Be mint promo, that wouldn't it?
What, digging
We'll
the
just
pitch up?
recreate Purely Belter.
All right, okay.
Then we'll get our kit off and jump in there.
Have you actually ever seen Purely Belter?
Yeah. When I was about 10.
You just can't remember any of them.
Nah, none of it. I just remember the Celine Dion.
Rusty!
That's it.
Is that what the dog's called?
No.
I still
gotta
think,
be-
I still think it's Shearer. Like.
I think it's
I
Shearer.
think it's Shearer as well.
The dog's definitely not called Shearer. Oh, the band's called Shearer.
That could be it.
Somebody's called Shearer.
The band.
The Bear.
The band.
I remember a bear being in it, like.
Rough on one, right. Right, so we'll talk about Arsenal.
Cow then.
We've got a guess here. I'm only introduced
I was about to say that. You need to do some guess first.
you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Adam. I don't know what more do you want. How far do you want me to go into this?
This isn't Adam from behind the camera. Just to clarify, this is another Adam. Not another Adam, just another person called Adam. It would be weird if you were called another Adam.
I'd be really angry at my parents.
Yeah.
Or I could just call A.
Hi,
Adam. Hello, I'm A Adam. Got really annoyed that aardvarks were ahead of me in the dictionary, so...
Adam.
No. Yeah, that's me.
Adam,
Hello.
Adam.
Like Gary Neville's dad's called
Like
Neville.
Neville.
Bullshit like that.
No, I never know.
Is that true?
That's actually true, yeah, Neville.
His sister's called Neville. She's a
Why do I invite
netball
him, man?
manager or something. She won the Olympics this week.
She's a what?
Well,
A netball manager?
She won the Olympics this week.
Gary Neville's sister.
Gary Neville's sister is a UK
She's
netball
the
champion. Like, she
netball-
was captain for
Obviously,
ages.
the
Which is
manager
the-
of Netto.
I thought he said she was the Metro manager. That's what I thought he said.
Netball.
Imagine that Christmas dinner. Imagine that Christmas dinner table.
I didn't watch
We've all succeeded in different ways. Phil, Gary, and the manager of Netto.
It's not even there anymore.
Love all my children equally.
Jesus.
I'm sure you said that.
Scandinavian
Adam,
for
Adam.
value.
Hello.
It's nice to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you very much. Aye.
And tell where you're from.
It's not fucking blind date.
What's your name and where are you from?
Lovely to have you.
Over to you,
Tell
Graham.
everybody how old you are, where you come from.
East Silla, I'm 31, I'm from North Shields, and I've been supporting the toon my whole life.
Unfortunately.
And what are you looking for in Newcastle this season, Adam?
8th.
Is Scylla not supposed to be Scouser?
She's a bit
We're putting a regional slant on it.
Not.
We're making it.
I don't know what he's saying.
I'm not Scylla.
Who are you supposed to be?
I was the other one,
Graham.
the new one.
I think to have Silla, you'd have to have a clearly
What's
defined
that?
host.
You've even watched the new one?
What's that new bloke? No, I've seen the advert on Channel 5.
What new blind?
The gear one with the dogs. Not the one from the match.
I see him in the match.
What's he called? The glasses.
I
Used to dress
didn't
up as a
know.
woman.
Oh,
Paul something.
Paul O'Grady.
Paul O'Grady, that's the fella.
Lily Savage.
He does it now, Lily. That's it.
He
does it, doesn't he?
Does he? I didn't watch Saturday Night Telly.
He does blind date.
He does blind date, eh? Channel 5.
didn't know
That's a
that.
dog shot, that thing, man.
That's quite sad. That's a nice. I've seen that.
Blind date.
Yeah, that is really sad. So anyway, back to Adam.
Don't make this about me when we've got this for.
Adam is from NUFC fans.
Aye, allegedly. When we get the time.
And this would be like...
Imagine.
People wouldn't think this
Imagine
would
you
ever
go back
happen,
in
would
time.
Aye, because I'm not the greatest on these things, but it didn't used to be.
You're
Adam.
right, you are.
they? No, it never used to be Adam.
No, it
Yeah,
used to
it
be
was-
somebody else.
Right. Okay. And
We'll
then,
not
then you
mention
took
that.
that over.
See, this was all quite a shock to me because I used to just know Umar as just this.
Whoa! You can't be coming on here dropping that name.
Adam, bleep that out when...
Just this person.
Thanks for coming.
Just knew him as this name that Threat Level used to throw about to try and wind himself up. I didn't actually realise it was an actual person.
Oh.
And then when we took it over, we got all these messages being like, "Oh, so someone's supposed to allow." It's like, no, it's just us now.
Well, I texted Adam last night saying, I've just sat for like a full hour, like going through my old tweets, deleting them. There's just stuff that I've been slacking these out because I thought, someone will find it and retweet it. But
Well, it's not technically him though.
We didn't
Not
used,
anymore, no.
We didn't used to get on very well, did we?
to put it, like...
So how long have you had it for?
Well, I think our company bought it about 2 years ago now, maybe it's a little bit less than that, and just sort of said, like, because they're all Newcastle fans, they've all got season tickets and stuff who own WhatCulture. I'm from WhatCulture. And they were like, just do what you want with it. Like, the audience is there, the sort of brand recognition's there, but it's kind of reputation-wise in the toilet a bit, so just do what you can. Which was...
We know who we've got to thank for that.
We didn't really know anything about that. We were like, oh, but it can't be that bad. So we like said, hello, we've taken it over, and we just got like loads of abuse for 3 days. Like, no, you haven't. It's all a lie. We're like, no, it is.
It's because when Umar had it, Umar was saying like every other week
Say his name.
he was getting rid of it, and he wasn't running it anymore. And a couple of weeks later, he was still there.
Yeah.
I think that's why the whole transition never really
Well, I've since been
was believable.
I've since been educated on what the previous sort of years of running it were. But hey,
The previous management.
I'll say one thing. We went through the followers because when we got a hold of everything, we were like, well, it was like 76 or 80,000 followers or something. We were like, that'll be a lot to be bought, a lot to be fake. They were pretty much all real, and Gabby Logan was in there. So
Random.
I mean,
She was shot good, you know.
I've heard that
Allegedly.
She was in the DMs as well, but that's none of my business.
Oh, the DM's still there.
All the DMs were still there.
Oh, oh, we're going to find out.
All the DMs were still there.
He was on.
There's a lot of people in Northeast
All
Press
of them.
right now starting to swear face. All of them were still there.
Wow, you think they'd sell them, wouldn't they?
No.
Not sell
Oh, they
them,
could
delete
have.
them.
We could have done.
He did sell them.
But you think you'd delete them, wouldn't you?
Nah. Well, listen.
Wow. That is amazing.
Again, none of my business.
He went through a little phase where thinking he had like a connection at the club and he was leaking like the team news 3 minutes before the team news was there.
Burnt his bridges there, didn't he?
Apparently not.
Do you remember Colin?
Colin?
Oh, Colin.
Where's Colin?
I don't know.
Colin? God, I forgot about Colin.
C-War
C-War
07.
No, that was it.
Oh, God.
Yes!
And then
He was the pits in,
there was
wasn't he?
Just when you mentioned leaking the team news.
What happened?
Popped up as well.
C-War as well.
C-Nor, yeah.
There's people sitting there going, what the hell are they
Oh,
talking
Colin.
about?
People have
This
just
is
came
historical
on, like,
Twitter, this, isn't
people
it?
have just like signed up to Twitter, haven't got a clue
No.
who all these people are.
Colin.
God, he was a nightmare, him. Like,
He knew everything, man. He was
Knew
in the
everything,
know.
aye.
If you look at like
I
Twitter
bet
now,
he's the NUFC insider these days. I bet that's
if
him.
you look at
Is that
Twitter,
still going?
I think that's still knocking about. Yeah.
if you look at Twitter now, it seems like a happier place now compared to what it used to be. Like, I mean, like connection between fans, because 3-4 years ago,
Oh, in terms of football, it is
fans used to
aye.
be kicking right off at each other. People used to hate each other.
It's much happier for football, but I have literally seen a tweet this week that will start World War III from the current president of the United States. So I mean, overall, it's like a bit up and a bit down, isn't it? Like,
Aye. That doesn't matter to us, does it? Yet.
oh, Porters.
Aye, but I see War
C-War.
was a funny one. Like, he just used to put every transfer out there, which never ever happened.
do you remember when
But he had one
when
guy.
some lass just properly exposed him, like just published a load of DMs between?
The hairdresser,
That was it, aye. That was the.
and he was asking for massages and
Aye,
stuff.
that was
like
it. That was it. That was a
Stuff
landmark
like
day
that,
on
yeah.
Twitter.com for me. That
would you caress my thighs and stuff?
didn't need the eye contact for that, but thank you.
Wasn't it Colin that broke the Barnetta story?
Aye, Tranquilo Barnetta, who has since
That's who we're thinking about that week as well, wasn't it?
any day now they're going to find
still in?
Tranquilo Barnetta's body in that Jesmond Hotel room, aren't they?
I've heard he's in Victoria at all.
Is he moving about? Is he?
That's where they buried him.
Oh, it's a shame.
No, he'll be under the Fisherman's Wharf, got that burnt down.
Mind you, look, I tell you what, a shiny pound to anyone who can tell me what Tranquilo Barnetta has done since he was apparently in that hotel.
Did they make him up? Did he exist?
Oh, he probably existed, like.
Is he a player?
Dream Team.
Player and everything, you know.
No?
He's in Dream Team.
Good old Sky One production. How mint was that show?
Dream Team was absolutely fantastic. I used to have a Harchester United
Did it
shirt.
not
I
come
did as
back
well.
for like
I had one.
a
Yeah, they made
Came back, didn't it?
Lewis
Really good.
Rodriguez, man.
Bad.
Unbelievable player.
It's always a Fletcher man,
Just used to be
really.
the Wild.
It was near Jossie's Giants, though.
Jossie's
Giants.
Brentford rejects, man. That was the one.
Jossie's Giants was.
Renford Rejects is, aye, that's the hipster choice. When us popular lads are trying to bring out the half of United stories. Oh no, I was a Renford Rejects player myself.
You're older than me though.
I'm just Harchester United through and through, mate. That's all that was about. Fletcher,
The
Scott
guys used to
Davis,
get
I
people
bleed
back out,
Curtis Alexander, me.
Curtis Alexander.
Curtis Alexander.
What a man.
Footballer's wife stuff, that wasn't it?
Yeah.
Aye.
yeah.
It was good crack, mate.
So crack on with Arsenal.
Yeah,
Does
that's
anybody want a drink? See, there's small sitting with empty glasses.
someone go and buy us a pint.
Eh?
I'm going to cash.
Aye,
Just
Adam, go to the bar.
just a bit of a hint there.
Adam, go
How
on.
long
son.
are we recording for so that doesn't click off?
I bet it's about 40 minutes.
Check a go.
23.
23.
You've got 7 minutes to get up and doing.
Loads of time.
Because we've got the world's shittest camera and it cuts off after 30 minutes.
To be fair, you kept saying, oh, you know, this won't be anywhere near as nice a set, but you've got our camera clicks off at 30 minutes. It's an
This is
absolute
not-
nightmare.
it's
Right?
not-
I think every single
like- it's like
single
a
issue.
bonus.
Every single episode of NUFC Fans is 28 minutes long,
Just 'cause
and
of
the last minute of it is like, how long have we got left? Right, so just quickly before I wrap up.
Just all of a sudden, if you watch on YouTube, you just go.
Well, I'm playing golf tomorrow with Mickey Jackson. You know, Mickey.
Michael Jackson!
Wow!
Brought him back from the dead as well, Jesus.
You know the lad who messaged in the other day? And he was saying, like, oh, like, good show, blah, blah, blah.
Alright, aye.
So I have to tell him to just skip 24 and a half minutes, and then we'll get cracking.
I think people watch it for the
No,
introduction.
the
Do you
warm-up,
really think so?
The first 10 minutes last week, good.
everybody talks
Aye,
about
10
it.
minutes, aye.
Joy.
When you're going on for 45 minutes about bloody dogs and waving and that.
It's all Newcastle related, though.
Look, if you don't want to come anymore, son, just say the word.
Well, I'll come 25 minutes late. That'll be alright.
Do anyway.
Is this still the introduction?
I think so, aye.
It's alright, we'll cut all this out.
We'll never crack.
Who edits, man?
When
Who
we
edits?
first started recording, we used to, like,
We used to have it cut
I used to
all the
sit
time.
and I
Yeah.
used to listen to it all the way through, then cut everything, then
Imagine if we published some of them outtakes.
Yeah, couldn't be done.
We would be in
Couldn't
prison.
Aye. But
I'll
like,
tell you what, I'll swap you the DMs for the outtakes. How's that?
the some of them are borderline at best. But like now we just seem to like
Happy at times.
leave
Just leave it in,
see
yes.
what happens.
What's the worst that could
Then like I'm always like I've got to be the first one to listen to this because if anything bad, like I'm gonna get rid of it straight away.
Well, a few weeks back ago, you took some out, but it wasn't even bad, just because you thought it was bad.
Is he get me a drink?
I hope so.
I would imagine he would be.
Hope he's getting water drink.
I'll take his if he hasn't.
We did last week.
So talk about Arsenal then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shite, wasn't it?
Started, so we'll finish.
Bad, wasn't it?
Terrible. Worst performance I've
Team
seen.
news. I was pleased with the team news. Like, to be fair, because I think they deserve to just continue to be the same, like the same team.
Settled.
Settled
team.
He said that during the week, didn't he? That everyone was fit, but sometimes you don't
What's
change.
that? 4 weeks in a row now.
He
Start
wants to-
11.
I think he deserves a bit of credit for that. I know, like, we're not short to praise Rafa as a manager, but when you've got Slimani sitting on the bench and everyone's been chomping at the bit to get him in,
Yeah.
but at the end of the Leicester game, Gale gone very, very quiet and you sort of brought him on. It would be very easy, you would have a really easy excuse to just start Slimani. But I think probably over the last, even though he's only done like 60, 70 minutes of the last 2 or 3 games, Gale probably deserved to be in there. So.
Yeah.
I think if he had to change that team there and not got a result, people would think, why are we changing a winning team?
I think going into that, everyone was like, "This is a free hit." You know what I mean? Like the hard work's been done. Arsenal at home's not a big deal. I think it was sort. I think everybody sort of had the impression that isn't this just nice? We can go into a home game in April, not having to worry too much about the result. If we get something, it'd be great. I'd have been delighted with a draw.
I
Could have done whatever you wanted.
Pump.
I did, but I've got that.
I thought we'd get a draw. I didn't think we'd lose the game. Like I was quite confident, to be honest, from the start.
I had one.
Due to them being away at Moscow, I knew they wouldn't play.
Stop.
Oh, it was an absolutely great chance.
Yeah, it was because they weren't going to play a full strength team. Really, were they? I didn't think they were. I mean,
Well, that's what we said last week, is that they'll have a
not
bit of
to
a
be-
hangover
that
from
sounds bad, that
travelling over to there.
But I thought, I've said this for ages now. I was not to slag him off, but I was a little bit sick of Rafa changing it all the time. I said he was all the time like, just give people a run of games to get some confidence. And now he's stuck with the same team for a while.
Aye, but
And,
I think it was because
They
of
couldn't
the
be
run
tired.
of games that we were having, especially over the Christmas and stuff like that.
He did used to change it every
Changed all
single
the time.
week.
Yeah.
He changed it constantly, and it just. How can anyone get any run of form? If you championship's a bit different because obviously I know you're playing, your Wednesday, Saturdays or whatever.
Yeah,
it
the
is
games
quite
come
a lot.
so
Yeah,
quickly.
that's
But in the Premier League, sometimes you were getting 2-week breaks. Or certainly from Saturday to Saturday or Saturday to Sunday.
Which is why I said after the international break, he seems to pick the players he's worked with that week, rather than especially the players that have gone long distance. Like Yenman was always dropped the following game if he had been away from America.
Yeah.
And Mbemba was the same; he was always dropped.
Yeah.
It goes through the preparation that goes into it because you must work like every day training.
Constantly with those that are around him.
And if you just think if someone's missed 2 or 3 days of that, there's not really any point having
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I'd rather have somebody who knows exactly what we're doing than somebody who maybe is ability-wise allegedly a little bit stronger. But
Yeah. I think.
Did you have were you full of
I just wish I hadn't watched that so intently as well.
I
Like
don't know whether to drink it or shave with it.
You what? Mentally what?
Were you like
Sorry?
confident going in that game?
I was for a draw. I didn't say
That's-
winning the game. I just meant I was confident going because we were on good form. I really felt.
Well, I'll take you back 1 week, and you sat there and didn't seem that confident with your.
What did I do?
No, he said
he
in
said
the
you
last
would-
one. He said
dragged,
we'll beat Arsenal.
I said beat, but I actually thought draw.
No, he
personally.
didn't.
Oh no,
No, he
the week
didn't.
before
He
said
said-
we'll beat Leicester.
He said
Yeah, I
we
said
would
we'll
get.
beat
He
Leicester.
said would get beat.
We hadn't even getting to Arsenal.
We
but
said
that's-
would get something from it.
I don't know whether it's more an indictment of sort of.
You said you would take a draw.
which I would have.
Everyone would
Yeah, I
take a
think
draw.
anyone
Like.
would have. Huh?
It's just kind of weird because I remember, like, even when we have had brilliant teams and Arsenal have been a bit up and down, I can't remember ever going into a game with Arsenal, with any manager, like, even go as far back as Robson, Keegan, anybody. I can't remember ever going into a game with Arsenal thinking, do you know what, we might just turn them over at a canter. Like, there's not really anything to... Remember
They've just had a bad old season, haven't they?
They've had a bad decade, to be honest with you. It's great. It's just bit by bit by bit by bit. Like, the fact that Arsenal could conceivably now get turned over by Burnley. Like, they could get caught. Everyone's like, it's for the last 2 European places, and a lot of people are saying, like, it's not that big a deal. Like,
It is when you've been there, isn't it?
Well, it's not that. It's just, like, the difference between... Is it 6th and 7th they've got? They're going to fight
Yeah,
for.
6th, yeah.
The difference between... If you finish 7th, you start your season in, like, end of July or start of August or something. If you finish 6th, you start it the same time all the Champions League teams started. Like, it's an extra 3, 4, maybe 5 games you're going to play. The indignity for Arsenal to have to give that up to Burnley is unbelievable.
If they win the Europa League, then they'll qualify for the Champions League. So for me, all them eggs are in that basket. Really, that would be if I was Arsenal.
Must only be, what, 4 seasons since Burnley came back up? 3?
I think about 4.
3, 4?
Did we not?
God, what a job he's done there! Like, it's ridiculous. But
I vaguely remember Paul Dummett scoring an own goal the year they came back up. Or I think they went up the year we went down. Or there's something I think we leapfrogged them in one way or another. Or they leapfrogged us. I remember that.
Went, didn't he?
I remember we got that 3-3 against them. It was around Christmas. Sissoko scored of all things. Dummett headed it over Jack Anik, and I think that was their first year up. Actually,
where Dummett just turned and had a bounce
off his head, yeah, and then they sort of both looked at each other like, right, we're both shite. Right, I've got it.
Dummett, you're shite. That's my favourite quote ever.
I was classic.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So he was shite.
I would, but going back to what you're saying, I was quite confident. And I'll be honest, because I just felt that Arsenal. I'm not really afraid of any of their players. I mean, don't get us wrong. I know Aubameyang's and Lacazette, and you've got your Ozil. They are good players, but the rest of them, I think, are shit. I think the back four. I think Czech's finished. I just think loads of them.
That's where you get your bit of hope from, isn't it?
And they've just travelled to Russia on Thursday, and had to come back, then travel to us. And I thought we could really
his
get it.
His kicking was worse than Kroll's.
He's shite, man. I'm telling you, he's
really poor.
Past it.
And like, you could tell that Newcastle players saw on that because Perez and Gale were closing them down every single time he got that ball.
You knew for a fact going into the game that.
Was I watching Tim Carr?
No matter how.
From the past.
Reference that, like, innit?
Well, he was terrible kicking. I always remember when we played.
Was he as bad as Krul? Spadefoot?
Horrendous.
God almighty, his kicking was terrible.
Holocroll.
But you knew that we would outwork them, regardless of the lack of quality. You just knew that we would outgraft them, like from the minute go, and that's obviously. It
was one of them, like, you just knew, and it was the same with the Man United game. It got about 10-15 minutes in, and you just thought, they're not up for this. Like, if we really battle them for this, they'll roll over. And like, they got a goal. And I think they just
was against the winner
crush.
player for me, like they're good.
Oh, actually, not according to Arsene Wenger, who said they were well in control of the first half and should have been out of sight by that point.
Out of sight? They didn't have a fucking chance.
They hadn't had
a shot.
Chance, no. We started very, very well. And then they started coming back into it.
Lads, I don't mean to disagree, but I definitely heard Arsene Wenger say that they were really in control of that first half.
We were walking up the game and that
makes a fucking change because he doesn't normally
see out.
Looking at the team sheet, I saw that young kid that was getting his debut, 18-year-old in centre midfield. And I went, he's up against Shelvey and Diome. I was like, he's going to have a nightmare game. I went, all they need to do is just pinpoint him.
See, because that would have been Ramsey, possibly, who I actually think is a good player. So that's how I felt that I was confident, because I knew he wouldn't play Ozil. Not that I'm actually that worried with Ozil, actually, to be fair. Like, but
it's not so much that Ramsey's a good player, but he's one of the few lads Arsenal have got who, even if he's not doing well, he will graft and he'll put the challenges in. And when Shelvey and Diame have come on leaps and bounds. Both. I mean, I know people think Shelvey's like got a lot more ability, but he has improved his work rate at the same time Diame's improved his ability. And what they have got in their locker, which we saw against Leicester, is they will work their arses off even when it's not going right for them. So you put them against the centre midfield, who are talented or allegedly good, but aren't going to graft. They'll come on top every time. So when Ramsey wasn't in the team, she was like, if they just work hard, they'll win that battle, even if it's against much better players.
I mean, you've got. I still see. I mean, Shelvey played a pass on Sunday with his left foot, like about 60 yards across the field. I mean, there's not many players could do that with their weaker.
Is that when he put Gale down on the right hand wing?
I think it might. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And all this
he
form.
Even look when he hit it.
He must have seen him beforehand and then concentrated, then bang. And I think our form has improved dramatically since we've found them two in midfield can handle it. Because normally, we've always trusted Hayden used to play there, and or Marino did, and then we didn't have enough protection, blah 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 blah. But once Diame and Shelvey have formed that sort of the foil together,
partnership,
they've just been amazing since.
I've never seen a partnership in centre midfield for us anyway like them two, because if you sort of imagine like the two overlapping circles, like Diame can run about in the very forward areas or do the exact same thing in front of his own box, where Shelby's sort of like a much smaller, just basically plays around the centre circle now, gets the ball and moves it around.
That's pretty Kabay.
It's Turin,
isn't it?
And for me, Diame is a bless him, but is a cleaner version than Tiote. Tiote would just go in and hey, sometimes that's what you need. But Diame for me wins the ball fairly, nearly every single time.
He wins it in better positions as well. Like, I never used to see Tiote win it like outside their box. Whereas Diarmi just sort of recognises where does the pressure need to go, and he goes and applies it.
What Tui used to be concentrated on winning the challenge, getting the tackle in. Diarmi wants to win the ball and move on with it.
I want to take it,
just tiptoe the ball, just give it a little tip, then he's away.
Honestly, I was saying to the lads at work today, I don't think you can underestimate just how much he's transformed as a player. I know Mark's always said that he thinks he's quite good, blah blah blah. He was shite. He was bollocks. When he played him at number 10, he was horrific. Honestly,
he was one of the most underwhelming performers in the entire championship season. I remember when we got him. We got very shrewd buys. Like
4 million.
Gale looked like a really solid buy. Richie, really solid buy.
What would it be?
5 or 6. Hanley, Clark. They looked like solid, about that level sort of buys. And I think Diarmi was one of the last guys we got in. And I remember at the time everyone was saying, "Oh well, there you go. That's the little bit extra. That's the little bit of spark we might need." And he suddenly just became this. Comedy lumping. It was. Remember when we first got to Sissoko and Pardew was obsessed with him being a number 10. It was like a worse version of that. If such a thing exists. And then I was at the Everton game where we got beat, and he had the singular.
Just had was a Boxing Day.
So it must have been somewhere around that. He had the singular worst individual performance I've ever seen from a Newcastle player. Every pass out of touch, every tackle mistimed, everything you could possibly measure a player on, he did wrong. And I'm not proud of it, but he came off at about 55 minutes, just before the hour mark, and the entire crowd cheered, sarcastically. And I was like, I joined in at the time because, Christ, I was so relieved to see his number come up. But afterwards, I was like, I wasn't proud of that. That's near way. That's him finished now. Once that happens to you, that's it. And not 2.5 months later, we're talking about him as man of the match most games. Did he get it against Arsenal?
He got it off Sky. But the ground Shelby.
He's been magnificent. I don't know whether it's changing the role or just changing what he's doing, or if it's just something personal.
Confidence for me.
I read that he's got a personal trainer that lives with him now. Actually, he's got a personal trainer where away from training he's been obviously working, and he's put all of his form down to him in terms of getting him mentally right and also physically.
Look, we can try and come up with some clever reason for why it is, but it's because Lascelles chinned him, isn't it? It's because Lascelles knocked the fuck out of him in training.
Like I said last week, I wish Lascelles would just come in my house and give me a chin.
Just sort me life out.
It just sort myself out, wouldn't it? Be flying if Lascelles chinned us. I just got the training ground at some point this week and just got Lascelles just punched in the face, mate.
Just goes to show how important your centre midfield is, because Shelby's always had the ability but been very inconsistent, very unreliable, undisciplined. He sorted that out.
So you slagging off Shelby?
No, not anymore.
Well, me
not anymore. I used to his name was Mud to me for a while.
What we've learned on this podcast is that you eat humble pie quite a lot.
You have to when you support this club. Dummett, Diarmi, Shelby, Perez, they've all come in for so much criticism.
You'll slag players off left, right and centre, then half a season later the world beat us.
I don't think it's like
I'm the opposite way around, to be fair.
I'm very much
you try and defend them the most in the shite.
Not just half the time when you like somebody and you think they're really good, 6 months later they're dog shit.
I just call what I've seen. If someone's not playing well, they're not playing well. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? And Diarmi was playing terrible.
He was.
You know what I mean? And then now it's night and day compared to how good he is now.
He's been that good in the last couple of games. He's a genuine contender for player of the season.
Yeah.
It's Lascelles for me personally. But if Diarmi plays the next 3 or 4 games like this, he's definitely in with a shout.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to argue with somebody who said he was the best player this year, purely for the turnaround he's had.
Definitely not.
See, I also think Richie's really came on leaps and bounds since Christmas.
Richie's just repeated what he did last season.
Aye.
He just shite out at Christmas. Then fans get on his back. Say, what are you doing, man? You crap. Then all of a sudden, a switch will go.
I think Richie's more important to the players around him than he is to himself. The way he's arguably the most limited player in that starting 11 now. Maybe he's dumb in terms of actual ability and what you'd expect of them. He's probably the most, not the quickest. He's not that quick, not that strong, not really technically all that good. But I've never seen him get left by more than 10 yards by somebody who's in his area of the pitch. I've never seen him mistime a tackle too badly. I've never seen a cross not connect with its target by too far away. He just does all the basics so well. And if you look at even how much Yedlin's improved, I think that's purely down to the fact now it's regularly Richie in front of him instead of some weeks Murphy, some weeks Atsu, some weeks everybody around.
Richie's graph's unbelievable.
His graph's incredible. It's the kind of player we love here.
On Sunday, he was just chasing everybody down. And the goal he scored, the technique, that first touch and finish, with his wrong foot, in fairness, it was absolutely amazing.
How many times have we seen him do that?
Flick that little flick.
It was It was going there anyway.
Give him some credit.
No, it was good.
That little
It was good, but it was going there anyway.
It's not so much a distance. It's like if you think about the header.
Was Slimani.
Slimani.
Have you decided on a pronunciation?
Nah. Slimani is his name.
I did my research.
Mustafa Slimani. The way he got up and headed that ball, Jesus.
That's the thing about Perez's touch for it, because if you actually think about when you're playing football, if you head that
on,
ball down, think about the top spin that's on that ball. That would probably skip past Richie if Perez just doesn't, like, because he only touches it fractionally, but the way he touches it, it just kills. It kills the bounce.
What's funny? There's the last. I always say that the last behind me, right? In there's listen.
Has she got 2 dogs?
And she
doesn't like him.
When he does these little flicks and that, oh God, like. And there's another bloke actually goes mental every day. Stop running around, blah blah. And obviously, for me, I personally don't mind that, to be honest. I like that little bit of sort of.
Yeah, it can be the difference. It can be the difference at times.
I know it doesn't. I know, but crikey, like what we're asking for, like, do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you'll see players that that'll try that, in like the fans will love it. Perez just gets pelters all of the time for me, and a lot of the times I can't stand him either, because I mean he loses the ball countless times. So he scored the goal, right? Which I do want to give Dubravka a lot of credit for that goal, by the way. That was scored the first one.
Yeah, got away on a break quickly.
But he got a pass back from Lascelles, and Darlow or anyone else would have shit himself and just smashed that away. Right. I think, like I said, or maybe he was running towards, and he had the composure to just slot it to Shelby. It was a bit risky, like, but he gave it to Shelby.
He went through the 2 players and died.
And
it's part of the reason he's bought him, Perez.
That then started that move. Great finish from Perez. Great ball from Yedlin. I love to see him that high up the pitch. Great finish from Perez.
The angle he's finished. What a
cross
it was.
Brilliant finish. If you look at the goals Perez has got this season, he's got 2 winners in a really important 1-0s, the Stoke and Huddersfield. He got the equaliser against Southampton right after we'd conceded. He got the equaliser against Arsenal about 7 or 8 minutes after we'd conceded.
Win the lead against Southampton.
Right, and what proved to be the winner against Leicester.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
He scored really important goals.
He scores the equaliser, then he gets an assist for.
Aye,
that's his assist. The guy's down with his assist.
I know he gets pelters, but Benitez clearly likes players. I mean, we were talking before about how if someone's been away for international duty, they tend not to get played because they've not worked on whatever he wants to do that week. He clearly trusts Perez so much to do what he's fucking told.
Yeah.
And so many Newcastle players, for Christ, my entire lifetime, just don't do that. Do what they want.
Well, I think the epitome of that has been Kennedy since he's came, because he came with this kind of
playboy mentality.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying that he's he's great going forward, but he never gets back. He's lazy. You'll never see him coming back over the halfway line.
I could
that
never
kid
describe him
never
as lazy.
stops.
Never ever describe him as lazy.
I mean, he was dead on his feet.
Did you see him screaming at the bench?
Aye.
I was very surprised he took Richie off, instead of him. I couldn't believe that.
He was screaming at the bench to get took off.
He was not.
Because about 10 minutes before that, he looked over
at the bench absolutely
and he looked
dead.
over and he said like that, I need to come off.
Yeah.
Then obviously, who went off? Was it Gale that went off?
Gale went off.
Perez.
Perez.
Who was it? Who did Perez go off for?
Hoslu
Was it?
That was a good change, I thought, that actually.
I thought they were going to mix it up, and I thought at that sub, I thought it was going to be.
I thought Murphy for.
I thought Perez would have been going on the wing. Then I thought they would have put Thingy off, took Kennedy off,
right?
Then put Joselu up front. Then obviously when Kennedy was still on the pitch, I was going, he's knackered. He can't move. Yeah. The next one, Richie's gone off, and Kennedy looks over at the bench and he goes. He just looks at him like that. He's like, what? Like, I'm dead.
He was absolutely. But then. Because I'd sat and said that at the match, and then literally 2 minutes later,
sprinting.
He out of nowhere this sprint out, and I was like, and the lad next to us went, "That's why he's still on." I was like,
because he can do it.
Just Rafa knows best in it. I'm dead. I'm absolutely knackered. No, you're not. No, you're not. Wait till that ball breaks at the end of the pitch, you'll be fine. Yeah. We've all played 7-a-side with someone like that, haven't they? Oh, the ball's. Oh, I'm tired, lads. All of a sudden, the ball's rolling through at the other end of the net.
It's
fine.
Like Sunday was like a joy, like throughout, from start to finish.
Immense.
I mean, when was the last time realistically we had an April of no stress? Weren't last year because we started to lose with grip on first.
Exact thing, weren't we?
Yeah. 3, 4, 5 years ahead of that.
Never.
We were standing outside at the end of the game, weren't we? In 9 bar, in the sunshine,
next to the dogs.
And I says to her, this is like the first day of the season. We're standing outside. We're full of optimism. Yeah. The sun's shining. We're in a happy, good mood. It normally all goes downhill from here.
Well, when Arsenal scored, the reaction to that goal from
We were
fans,
well, the crowd
we were just up because we
louder,
knew that, you know what it is. We didn't care if scores were not bothered, you know what I mean? It was fantastic.
I mean, they had a lot of fans there on Sunday, but you just never heard them.
Can you remember the song they sang about Wenger or something?
Like, they were taking the piss out of Newcastle fans.
What was it,
The level 7 had started chanting something about Wenger, and they were defending Wenger.
Oh, fair enough. I just didn't understand what it was.
I couldn't hear them, but apparently they were defending.
Were the Newcastle fans not singing Arson In or something like that?
Something along, it wasn't Arson In, it was something along them lines. Then they said something.
He's won more than you.
He's won more than you.
Yeah, and I thought,
what was it? We want you to stay, Arsene Wenger. We want you to stay. That's what they normally get.
Fans sort of say he's won more than you.
I wanted to mention at the start. What did you think of that flag at the start? The banner at the Gallowgate end.
Well,
which one?
I don't tend to
Cock
make
of the North.
We are the Cock of the North.
I don't tend to make the flags because I'm normally quite late again into the ground.
Oh, right.
But I made it this time.
All right, okay.
It was still there.
How did you see it? No, I didn't.
It was still you sitting in the Gallowgate.
I'll look at it.
It's behind you. Yeah, in front of you.
Like in front of us. I didn't even see it.
Oh, I don't know. But I saw it. We saw it, didn't we? I don't know if you saw it.
I thought it was a strange choice to use.
It's an old chant, isn't it?
We are the Geordies, the Cock of the North. What does it mean?
What, we're like Cock of the
North.
North?
Yeah, it means with the top dogs.
It's like Cock of the
Wall.
I just thought it was so easy to Photoshop an S on the end, or just something ridiculous.
Well, that was my first thought. I went,
stupid, like.
I could put an S on the end there.
I know, like. I just thought you're leaving yourself open there.
Cock of the North. Cock of the North. Doesn't make any sense.
Weezer. We hate the Sunderland and Borough, of course.
So that thing about like when we conceded, like the noise went up.
Boys are in town.
There you go. That's what's off.
Does it not annoy the rest of you, like the narrative around the club this year? Like this think about the last sort of 2 years. Every single thing that's ever been said about like Newcastle United as a club or as a fan base or as anything, like it's been repeatedly proved wrong. Like even like the more recent stuff and the old stuff. And still, it's like the image, like
the whole shit, how deluded.
Yeah, like
how Porgy we should be grateful for.
Yeah, like we won't accept anyone who's not from the region.
One set of deluded fans in that ground at the weekend. All of them
the away
Arsenal fans.
But like we always get to we're not accepting of people who aren't from the region. We've completely embraced Rafa. We expect to be like top of the league. We're still singing his name when we're in the relegation zone. Like it's just everything. Like even from when he joined, like. We'd never get him, and then we did, and then he'd never stay when we went down, and then he did. And he wouldn't get us straight back up, and he did. And then he wouldn't be able to work with Ash in the Premier League, and he has, and he wouldn't keep her up, and now he has. And every single time, like it just doesn't change.
It's pissed me off to a certain level where now actually I've passed caring about all that now. I just like because the one that I know you've just said one there that you said that was absolutely bang on. Wasn't the region one. Sorry, you go, Mark. So I have to think what he said.
I was just going to say, I think that in the last couple of weeks, the narrative coming from the press about that has changed drastically because they're now talking about what a great job Rafa's done. They can't believe, well, to be honest, we can't believe where we're sitting.
He has to be shortlisted for manager of the season.
And that's it. He's been talked about for manager of the season. You're now hearing the fact that Lascelles and Shelby's getting mentioned every week about being in the England squad, going to the World Cup and stuff like that. You would not have had this, 6-7 months ago because
the thing is with the media, what Adam was saying
against
there,
Newcastle.
I think, do the media honestly believe that about Newcastle fans, or do you think they just put that on websites because they know for fine
I don't so much if they believe it, but I think whenever it comes up that like we always get told, we've got this great support, and everybody else, fans of other clubs and people in the press, whatever, they're always very sniffy about that. Like
try to downgrade
every club says they've got great support and all this, but like I was at the Tottenham game after we'd gone down, and that is apparently, according to Rafa, according to everybody else, that's apparently part of the reason he stayed, because he realised. Because Rafa's very selective about the clubs he picks. He always tries to go for, like, not clubs that are in massive parts of the country, so the fan base is quite niche. They tend to be one club cities, like to an extent. And that game apparently made him realise that this was really a project he could get stuck into, and we would not be where we are now if it wasn't for Rafa. And Absolutely. By his own admission, he wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fan base.
Right? That Spurs game, I recorded this video. Obviously, I'll just play the audio to it, right? It is unbelievable. This is me walking into the ground.
Late as usual.
It's insane, I know.
That's Spurs.
And we're relegated there.
We're down. We're a championship side there.
Oh, full house, relegated. The sound throughout that game was
Unbelievable. I know I was there. I couldn't believe it.
But you know what you were saying about the media in regards to they were saying like forgot again. I don't know, he's called Pratt, I think, or something on Twitter, and he had says, that the Newcastle fans are singing Rafa's name and do they not realise he hasn't won 1 in 9?
Yeah, singing Rafa's name, but he hasn't just lost 1 in 9.
Just relegated them.
Yeah, this fickle fan base that turns on people so easily.
About that, we only want to be top of the league, but then we're chanting his name and we haven't won 1 in 9.
But
we're
deluded.
So what? And then someone's retweeting him and going, "This is aged well." Like,
yeah.
That really annoys us. That as you say, that they have this opinion that we expect to be challenging for the Champions League, and then you've got Bellins on Sky, like Bellamy and whoever the fuck they are, go on there and they're like, they're a nightmare. They're a nightmare. They expect to be challenging every year.
Well, there's only
one earthy tournament.
Dyer when he got called out by
it's unreal, man.
True Geordie on his podcast, didn't he?
I agree completely there. You're bang on. But how can he's just showed a video there, right? That was definitely must have been mentioned on more media than just that we had a sellout on a game where we're already relegated.
Yeah. Aye.
Like that,
should have been protest, discontent, and we went 1-0 down.
It's ridiculous.
Went 1-0 down to Spurs. Nobody in the crowd didn't turn, and that was genuinely that. You look back at that game now, even though it didn't matter. The game didn't count for anything. Yeah. We could have lost that game 10-0. It wouldn't have changed.
Because 52,000, well, apart from them, turned up thinking we need to be planning for the future here. Well, you know what I mean? We
want to enjoy this again.
I had heard, I think it was from Rafa himself as well, that when we played Liverpool away, we drew 2s each. From 2-0 down, and his daughters were there at that game, and obviously, of course, our fans never stop singing about Rafa. And at the end, their man says like,
you can't leave them.
You've got these, love you, and that. Again, I mean, it's
part of me really hopes that's exactly the accent you said it. Because she goes to Durham, doesn't she?
I don't know.
Apparently, one of his daughters goes to Durham. He's like, "Oh, you can't leave these, like, Dad, you can't believe in these, like, oh, father, you can't believe in these."
But no,
get a munchie box on the way, man.
As much as Rafa's been the ultimate catalyst and everything for us, if it wasn't for us, then he wouldn't be
have stayed here. And that's
absolutely no doubt about it.
It's just like I know, like it sort of feels like a moan.
Hasn't he?
It sort of feels like a moan, like like poor us. But genuinely, the story behind Newcastle United over the last 2 years is something that is genuinely extraordinary. Like even not just by regular football standards, by the standards of this absolutely comically stupid football club.
I bet you Netflix are kicking themselves now that they didn't choose us.
I'm not. Oh no, I'm delighted with where they've gone with it. Like,
is that really going to? Is that really? But is it really going to get released though?
They tried to cancel it midway through the season, and they went, "It's too much money in it. You've got to keep."
There is
Just
it's
from Newcastle fans.
Oh my god! Why did they choose them?
Absolutely. No, they didn't choose them. Like they took it to Netflix and said,
"Oh right,
we want to do this."
Right, okay.
It's at Fulham.
Fulham
what 78 or something like that.
Something else, aye.
But it's done.
Are you gonna watch it? Are you?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
I'm never gonna stop watching it. I'm just gonna have like I'll go to work. And I'll just put it on loop, so when I come in, it's still on the telly.
That was the biggest yes I've ever heard. That everyone yes,
can't wait.
It's gonna be the best program ever.
Legitimately,
I
like
hope
genuinely.
they're gonna do what they do with the Bobby Robson film and have it shown like on big screen previews, like at St James's Park and at Wembley and like stuff like that.
At weddings, christenings, bar mitzvahs, everywhere.
But back to the Arsenal game.
Well, I was just going to say just on the Rafa thing, and it draws comparison to that situation that Sunderland find themselves in now. Is that Rafa absolutely, in my opinion, saved this club in the day that he came and took over as manager.
I agree.
And the fact that he stayed at the start of last season when he could have quite easily walked away.
I got loads of shit, right? Because earlier in the season, when Sunderland went down, and obviously the fan base shot right down. Well, not right down in their terms, but it was down.
But I think they still had. I think
their first game was like late 20s, like early 30s. Their attendance, and I went, if it wasn't for Rafa,
that would have been us.
That would have been
us.
And people jumped on us. They went, no, under Chris Hughton. But people...
The first couple of games, that time we went down into Hughton, we did drop about 10, 12,000.
Right,
That's, like,
we only
you
had
can't dispute
one
that.
sellout that season. There was one that would already won the cup.
40,000.
By the end of the season, once we'd started, we were winning games at home 4-5-6-0. We were top of the league. Then first couple, I was at Reading. I think we won 1-0. Danny Guthrie scored. He was pelting it down with rain. I remember that.
I like him, yeah.
And we were. It was about a 38 gate, I think. Someone will comment that I'm totally wrong with that stat, but I remember we were sat in level 7, and level 7 was dead.
Yeah. Rafa, if it wasn't for Rafa, our attendances would have dropped massively. Obviously, maybe not to the extent Sunderland's have, but they would have dropped massively.
That's what I'm saying. I
think percentage. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've got friends who are Sunderland fans. Sorry. But I don't, and a lot of them have they've just given up, and I can't even make fun of them.
Well, that's how she is.
No, it's ruined it. It's ruined it for them. Like, I've got a couple of lads at work who are Sunderland fans, and I can't even take the piss out of them anymore because it's stopped being funny now.
Well, we have.
So look, if Burton or Mitrovic send them down, it'd be funny again. But for the last couple of weeks and couple of months, it's just. You can it's the same joke over and over. I see you've had a bad result this week. I see a lot more of your fans have left. Like, it's just tiring to keep making the same joke.
Do them go to the games?
We used to.
Because my best mate, he still goes now. And
I only know one friend who still goes to the games.
Oh, he probably sits near him.
No,
two of them.
Yeah, he takes his son now as well. He's got his son a season ticket, and he got a letter through saying that no matter what division they were in next season, they were going to drop them by 80 quid or something like that. And he's still going to go back. Like, he says, no, I'm still going to go. And I was just like, no, credit.
No,
I'm
going
to be very honest with you. I don't ever give him any shit ever, because he never give me any. And it is what it is. But the rest of them, obviously, of course, it's amazing. Because imagine what they would be doing. They'd have like the red arrows going past for flags up and that. You know what I mean? So
it's the real fans that
suffer
you
the most.
Feel sympathy for.
And it's funny because I hate them so much. I want them to be playing Temple Park next year. That's really what I would like.
I
still have
very
that
happy
little
that they're getting rid of
Temple Park.
You know.
Where's Temple Park?
Oh, it's over there.
Shields Leisure
Just
Centre.
playing fields up there.
Oh, it was like literally.
Mom and Shields now. What I forget.
There's literally like no one plays there. But anyway, back to us. Sorry, we've digressed a bit there. When we went 1-0 down, what did you think though? Did you think, oh shit, or did you think, we'll get
I think it didn't matter.
They never.
Was not.
They never troubled with. They didn't have anything that worried us.
Well, I thought Aubameyang had Yedlin on toast. Early doors.
For all that the amount of movement and pace and stuff that they had up front, they didn't really test well or put under any real pressure.
No, that goal they got was the first proper chance they got. Like,
it was a strange one as well because at the time, I thought surely
he's a drive.
He looked a mile offside. Like,
I thought he was. I'll be honest, I haven't seen the replay. I thought he was offside. Now, I bear in mind where I sit,
he looked offside.
Almost bang on line where the linesman was,
and
I thought he was offside.
He was because he was so far.
Good finish, like it was.
It was one of them goals where even if your team
Lejeune was playing them onside.
What he actually was.
Yeah. So Lejeune was obviously over on the left side and centre half. Played him on because he hadn't pushed out, and then again I'm going to criticise, and then again as they came into the middle, Lejeune was the one picking up Lacazette and just didn't go anywhere near him, which basically just left him to have a tap in. Well, which he did. He did.
It was a good goal. It was a good take. I thought.
Was it 80 million between the two of them, Lacazette? More than that.
Well, that was 50. I think it was 65.
It's the kind of snap second, like get a half a yard, get a good run, and to be fair, it's a fucking unbelievable finish that on the stretch, running full pace.
There was a stat after the game that said Aubameyang's price was our starting 11.
Doesn't surprise me. To be fair, like you look at stuff like that as well. Like if you look at the three teams in the bottom three right now. Presuming Brighton haven't got beaten 1-0 and been docked 12 points. They finished 1-1. The star players they've got and the big names they've got and the actual squads they've got, like compare that to us, Brighton and Huddersfield. They're miles better than we are in terms of a squad. Even Crystal Palace, like they've got honestly, Crystal Palace have probably got the best 11 in the bottom 10.
I agree.
But Crystal Palace are probably in the same situation. If they were to get relegated, that would be like how we would.
Either they would be able to chuck a load of players for 30-40 million. But it just shows like, and it kind of gets like, you know, in the same way in music, like drummers are now underrated. Like all of a sudden nobody's asked about having a good drummer. You look like actual good coaching, good management. Like I'm not a massive fan of Wagner or Huddersfield. I think he's a bit of a fucking bell end.
Yeah.
But Clearly, he can organise a side very well. We all know that Chris Hughton well overperforms what is expected of him.
Of course he does, yeah.
And Rafa is, Rafa.
It's probably the only season, I can't think of a season where the 3 clubs that have been promoted.
It's never happened. It's never happened.
Has it not?
Unless I'm going to get called out for this. I'm sure I've heard this week in the Premier League era, which, as we all know, was when football started.
Yeah, of course
this is the first time it's ever going to happen.
It doesn't surprise
if it happens.
And it's on course to happen, really, isn't it? Like, if it was finished today.
I think it's
all this talk of it being the most exciting.
Proper dead, buried.
What have you sold at Man United though?
Must suck that, mind. You go to second place in the league and win away, and it doesn't matter anymore.
They've gone there the last 3 or 4 years and either won or drawn.
Yeah, they wouldn't have Pardew though. That new bloke who's doing well. They haven't lost it to him, but I think.
Do you see the massive dig all the players had at Pardew in the post-match thing? Like, we're all
doing
together now. We're all fighting for each other now. It's all great now. Everybody's pulling together now.
That was the only time.
Just the way they just kept saying now.
Appreciated anything that James McLean has ever said.
Did you see what Georgie Bingham, that last that used to be on TalkSport, what he tweeted out after that result, after the West Brom thing? Something like, somewhere in the world, Pardew's lying on the beach, just stood up, went and kicked over some some kid's sandcastle.
Thing is, he probably wouldn't have done. No, they won't, have they? Oh, yeah, coach that into them.
He's lying there. He's fucking speedos with these aviator mirrored glasses on,
covered in
colada.
I cannot believe he's getting away with that relegation again.
I know.
Hey, Mark Hughes might be taking two down in 1 year. What a job, eh? That would be a dream, that, you know. Taking 2 teams down.
Just think how close we got to a season where we finish in the top half. Hughes, Pardew, and who's the other one in the bottom 3?
Stoke, isn't it?
Lambert. Exactly, I've got no against him. But going back to what you say there about teams in terms of having good individuals, I think Stoke as well. I mean, you look at their team, and
Stoke's team is full of players we try to get.
Yeah, it is. But
even Shawcross, I know he's knocking on.
And I know you say
it's the worst defence in the Premier League, but he's a good player.
I know you say about the coaching, and I 100% agree. By the way, I totally get that. I also think you've got to have the individuals that really are willing to listen and demonstrate. Well, exactly. What's
Like
being in
look at Lascelles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Genuinely, I've said this to a lot of people. One of the Lascelles' first games for us was, I think it was either against Southampton or Bournemouth or something, and he got done in the easiest way I've ever seen a centre back get done in my life. Someone just in the box dropped the shoulder on him, got a yard and scored. And I remember thinking, look, I know he's young, I know he's got to develop, but if mentally that's how you can do him, you'll never ever be a player.
The way Lascelles has improved over the last year is unbelievable. Because at the end of last season, I think the 3 of us sat here and went, we could sell him, we wouldn't miss him.
Aye, I agree.
And now he's the last player you want to
sell. I remember when
we said we would. Our first choice pairing would have been Mbemba and
Clark.
Yeah.
It's just unreal.
I'm a massive fan of Lejeune, by the way.
Yeah,
he did a little. It was only in pre-season, but he got the ball, and I think it was Darlow hit it to him at the exact wrong height you want to receive the ball under pressure as a centre half. It was. Yeah, pretty much a cock level, and he sort of kneed it into the air a bit, and he's got this player charging in, and instead of doing the panic chest and run 5 yards forward and lose control, he just waited and just lifted it over him, and I sat watching it with 3 or 4 mates and went, oh, he's not doing that in the Premier League, and I was like, no, I like him. If that's
so calm,
if that's his crack, I like him.
He's so calm.
He is very calm. Yes.
But the thing is, you look again, I
just wish he could defend as good as he.
He's not a bad defender, man.
He's got years to develop, He's only 26, 27.
He's just... He's prone to switching off. Like I say,
over the last 5 games, I can't think as many centre-backs got better records in him.
No,
one goal.
You've turned in the negative. What used to be him? It's you.
No, I'm just...
I
wouldn't... I'm not saying he's...
You never give it.
I like him as a player, but I'm saying he's always got that moment in him where he can...
He's not
there was a time.
He's not
that catastrophic.
There
was a time where he got the ball, and he gave it away. God, Diarmi did the same as well.
Not his fault.
Remember
It was
that
Dummett's
one
fault.
with
It
Diarmi?
was Dummett's fault.
Jesus, that.
I went as soon as I seen Dummett get the ball, I actually went no. He gave it to Diarmi. And I thought he's got 10 round him.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you giving it to him? Just pump it down the line.
Well,
like you normally do.
that's sometimes the thing with Lejeune. He lends too long on the ball and tries to play himself out.
I'm going to ask you a
This is
question,
not
which
really
I'm going to ask you a question which I never thought I'd ever be able to ask in a conversation about Newcastle United.
It's gonna be Dummett, really.
We could sit here and we could discuss every single player that settled starting 11's weaknesses. How many of them do you genuinely think Rafa couldn't coach that out of? And when have you ever? I mean, because whatever problems I've got problems with Lejeune, I've got problems with Dummett, I've still got problems with Shelvey, I've got problems with Perez. But I look at them now, look at the development they've had over the last 6 months, and I think, yeah, they seem to be on the right track. And those issues I've got, I genuinely think Benitez can probably get out with them over time.
He's an absolute genius, right? And you can say that he's a man manager. Like, he'll take players aside now, a word of them. But then you can flip that over and think, why is he giving
I don't think he's a man manager.
Every year, I'm with him on that.
I think he manages people well, but he's not because a man manager for me is just somebody that bigs you up and
to be fair, a lot of players.
Man manager is someone who knows how to talk to individuals.
But that's the thing about Benitez. A lot of players he's had in the past have
Bobby
always
Robson
said
is a man manager.
They've always said he doesn't understand people on a personal level. Like he treats you like
Gerrard says that.
Like but not just Gerrard. Like players at like Inter, players at Real, players at even who was the Spanish side he won the league.
So you basically go, tell you what you've done wrong, and say you've got to improve that.
No, that apparently he just doesn't get people on a personal level at all. Like he just.
This is all football.
They'll come to you with like, oh, I've got this problem, and he's just like, no, I don't understand. Just do this on the pitch. But like the main difference he's had at this club is he's understood it as like more of a big family thing, and as a result, they've sort of been aware of their own inadequacies and their problems, and they've wanted to improve. Yeah. Like you were saying about Diarmi, he's got his own personal coach. He hasn't got Rafa. He hasn't personal trainer. He hasn't got Rafa living with him, going, come on, 20 more sit-ups, mate. Eat some more chicken. Like he's got.
That's where I'm going right back to what I said before, was in regards to having players that are focused. Like Diarmi, when Diarmi got cheered off there by the fans, he could have went, I'm done with this lot.
I'm done with this lot, aye.
But he's decided, no, actually, I want, because he could have went anyway. Not anywhere, sorry, but what I mean is he could have moved on if he wanted to.
He could have gone back to the level we got him from.
In terms of the heads that we have,
a successful career wherever he went.
Look at Hayden, for example. Hayden's never been playing, but you're not hearing Hayden spitting his dummy out or there wasn't any ruction. We just seem to have a player front that is united in regards to, right, okay, I'm not playing every week. Look at Murphy, you've signed him for 12 million. I reckon if you went, no, listen to this, I'm not going to have a go here. Just listen to this. If you go back a couple of years ago, we signed a player for 12 million that wasn't playing. I reckon you'd be hearing stories of him not being happy.
I'm currently hearing stories about him banging them in at Fulham.
A
player was signed for that price tag, he wasn't playing.
When you said that about not being able to coach players and get the best out of them, then
he should definitely be.
That was where my mind went. Him and possibly the only one that we've still got at the club, Atsu, maybe
I think he's nice.
But Mitrovic is where my mind went in.
Hanley couldn't clean out with him, like couldn't clean out with Sells either.
God,
but
don't take me back to that. That cup game, Jesus Christ.
Oh, what about the left back, Lazar? Couldn't clean out with him. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
He's never going to have complete success
stories. Of course he's not. No, but I agree with what you're saying.
Did anyone mention Sells?
I did. I seen him on his first pre-season game away at Peterborough or whatever. My God. And never ever he agree with that game. Did you ever see the first goal? In his own box with a player running towards him. He tried to lock like Lejeune.
Oh no, I do remember this.
Take it over. What on earth is this guy doing here? Penalty 1-0. I was like, right, he's not playing ever again. And then I'll never ever forgive him for the whole cup game when the Butterfingers.
I got into massive arguments that night because that was on Shelvey for me.
What, wasn't his limp wrist?
No, look, I'm a goalie. Right, I play in goal. You wouldn't guess it from my stature, but I play in goal.
Honestly.
Shelvey could have so easily blocked that shot, and he didn't. He just obscured the view. So everyone's like, "Oh, well, he's come from outside the box and sells his limp wrist to this."
Oh, it was limp.
But genuinely, by the time it's got to him, he's not expecting that to come anywhere near. We're getting into an argument here from a game that's like 16 months ago or something.
Well, I was still celebrating because we had scored.
I'm with you. If it was something Shelvey did, that was definitely his fault.
What are your thoughts on Mitrovic and the whole Mitrovic situation?
I was just gonna say there when
I didn't ask you the question.
No, but I was just about to say it, and then we started talking about something else. When Slimani came on at the weekend,
I said it the
week before as well. his stature, the way he looks, the way he moves, and everything like that is just like Mitrovic until
he runs. He's fast, isn't he?
In Slimani, he gave me a fright on Sunday because he got across 10, 15 yards like that.
You've had a few frights this week.
I know. And I was like,
no, you're right.
I went. By for all he's like Mitrovic could not have ran like that.
He was blown out of his arse after he'd done that.
Oh well, maybe
that was like 20 minutes later.
If you got him fully fit, like I was really shocked.
I couldn't.
He was like.
I couldn't believe
really
that train of pace that he showed.
So Adam, what are your thoughts on Mitrovic?
My thoughts on Mitrovic are that I don't see him in training. I get if I go to a match and he scores a goal and he's like giving it that, like I get as excited as the next person, and I think on occasion he's performed well in big games when we've needed him to, but I've not seen so much in him that I'm willing to disregard the opinion of a manager that I trust. That's a proper sitting on the fence. Look, he's just fucking class. Like, if he sends him down, give him a contract for life. There's my opinion.
He won't be back. There's no way on earth he'll be back.
Didn't they just get rid of Bob Moncur as club ambassador?
He's still.
Are you going to suggest give it to Mitrovic?
If he sends him down, give it to him.
I think he was before signing.
If you just say to him, look, right, this wage you're making as a Premier League footballer right now, that might not last forever. But how about we give you a 35-year contract as club ambassador?
Well,
just behave yourself. Don't be a massive Serbian Raji. Don't go buy a cheap tracksuit. Just be.
But then he's going to have to fight Shola for that title, isn't he? Because Shola's
because we're going to give Shola Beards his job.
Nah.
All right. Is he still got a job?
That's all went quiet, hasn't it? Totally dead.
No, it hasn't.
Is he back?
Hasn't it?
He's not back, is he?
No, he's not back.
He's not back. But I'm saying there's never actually happened.
No, apparently
he can't be back because then he'd be repeater Beardsley.
You totally missed that one, didn't you?
I heard repeater Beardsley.
He can't be back because then he'd be repeater Beardsley.
Oh wow, that was good.
Top of my head.
That's good.
Well, El Mahodi's
he's not even getting paid for this.
Getting released at the end of the season anyway, isn't it?
Who is?
What's it called? El Mahodi or whatever he's called?
Yeah, we're going.
El Mahfoud.
The kid who made the allegations. It is El Mahdi, isn't it?
We're going for that one, whatever.
Oh, Yassim El
Banani or something.
Banani, the one who played in the FA Cup.
He's getting released.
El Mahodi, the Mahodi.
Right, carry on.
Mahodi went on.
To be fair, half.
There's a few of them apparently, not just one.
I think 2/3 of the squad are getting released, aren't they?
Most of them.
The 23s.
Apparently, what was it?
That was Shan, that mind. It was right after they won didn't they win a penalty shootout like 23-22?
I watched that.
They went through like both. They went through the.
Remember that Twitter video or Vine or whatever it was? Him be doing all the skill, like he looked really skillful, like.
Well, he is, but that's the problem. He's not a footballer. He's a trickster and a freestyler.
He never beat a man. Not
once. When he played in the League Cup game, he was shocking. He didn't look like a footballer.
He didn't look like a player. And you watch him in these videos, and he's like unbelievable. I'm thinking, surely you can beat a man one-on-one once in 90 minutes. He couldn't do it once. I couldn't believe what I was saying. No, he wouldn't be able to just get a hold of him and say, "Get your phone out again."
And
that's
you know,
what did he say?
They were climbing or something, and he said,
"No, that wasn't him."
Oh no, it was that was Beardsy though.
Aye, but it wasn't him.
This feels like it's veering into.
That allegedly said that.
If it was
he allegedly said that he should be.
He's already had loads of allegations have been thrown out as unfounded.
I think we should stop talking about this now.
The views expressed do not reflect those of GallowgateShots.
Shut up.
Shut up. You're right now. We'll just move on.
Right. Shall we go to a question? Because we're fucking out. We're gonna record. Well, I know.
Someone else really need a piss.
Go through these. Go for a piss.
Go, you need a piss.
What about the questions? What about the fans?
We'll wait.
We'll wait for you to come back for the questions.
Well, what we tend to do when someone goes for a piss, we just slag them off for
a
few minutes.
Looks like Ericsson, doesn't he?
Billy Idol.
Didn't realise we had Ericsson on the podcast.
Real Slim Shady just stood up. Hey.
What a tosser.
Never invite him back again.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't he? I thought Umar would have been better than that. We should have got Umar instead of him.
Definitely got Umar on.
So I'll get the questions.
He's big time now, him anyway, isn't he?
I don't know. Is he?
He's on ITV channel doing some news or something.
Is he bollocks?
Apparently. That's what he says on Twitter anyway.
Even Umar.
Umar will be 100% be.
Oh, I've got to read that big one out, haven't I? You will.
You've got to read it.
While you're looking for questions, I'll...
How means more do you me?
No, while you're looking for questions, a few of the listeners and watchers may may have seen on Twitter that our friends at Lisa's Flags sent out a tweet earlier today.
He's on his phone? He's retweeting stuff?
He's retweeting stuff on his phone on the bog. Terrible.
Mostly having a sit-down week.
He must be, or a shit. Anyway, our friends at Lisa's Flags are looking for a little bit of help from volunteers.
They've had some unfair criticism this week.
They have, yeah. I mean, obviously coming in of where's the flags, where's the displays, etc., etc.
And where's the money gone?
Where are the
flags?
Where are the flags? Are there?
They're hanging in people's front bloody rooms.
Aye, so
because everyone nicked them.
Give them a chance to talk.
Well, they did. They nicked them.
Yeah, but they've got them back.
Where are the
now.
flags? We've got none left. They've
got them back now. No, obviously not all of them.
Majority of them.
But there's still a lot of the flags did get returned. But the problem that they're experiencing at the minute is there's no bugger to wave them.
Yeah, and that's because
you know, if you're sitting there, you're listening to this, or you're watching this, and you do sit in the Leasers, then
they've got too many people like him that don't want to go till it's literally kick off.
Got too many people like you. They got 3 hours before.
Yeah, but I'm not sitting in the ground. I'm drinking.
No, I mean, well, even if you get in, 10 minutes before, then
I agree with you, Mark.
grab one. We've all sat there
That's
and
a lot anyway.
slagged the atmosphere at times. You know, we've got the war flags lads down in the Gallowgate. You've got Leasers flags that are trying to make a difference. Then, if you're sitting in the Leasers end and you want to wave a flag, please give them a shout because it all helps build the atmosphere.
Yeah.
They can't put a display on if there's nobody there to wave them.
We had Ed on, yeah, and he was so passionate about it, wasn't he? He
Yeah,
really wanted
exactly.
to make it work. And I think he knew he was fighting a losing battle because of the stuff War Flags had done. To emulate what those had done was always going to be hard.
Yeah.
And the fact that the first time they got the flags out, he said
Got
over
loads
half of the flags went missing.
Yeah.
Which is a kick in the bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah. But he came out. He said there's big flags there. The surfer flags are there. The 4-man flags are there. But what they haven't got is the volunteers to be able to do it and to man them. So just if you're sitting in that end,
If you're in the crowd,
get involved.
It's before kick-off, so you're not missing anything. It's at the point where the players stop their warm-ups and they go back in the change rooms, isn't it? So it's only 10 minutes of your time there that you're just going to be watching some grass anyway, to be fair. So not that grass.
Not grass. That's not.
No, I agree. No, absolutely. It needs volunteers. That's what he's asking for.
Even if you don't sit in the Leasers, if you see the tweet,
You see Lisa's really funny.
Leasers. What's wrong with Leasers?
Lisa's.
Leasers?
You've got the Lisa's.
Oh no,
I
Lisa's
thought the
end.
Lisa's.
Lisa's end.
Leasers?
Lisa's end. No.
What do you call it?
I forgot now.
I haven't got an opinion.
No, the Lisa's end. Yeah.
How do you
Lisa's.
how do
Yeah,
you
I do
say
Lisa's
how
end,
do you
yeah.
say Bournemouth
Aye, how do you
or
say
Bournemouth?
Bournemouth.
Aye, you idiot. Bournemouth.
How do you say timeout?
Exactly.
No, that was a trap. It's timeout.
Time out? No, I say mouth.
There's loads. It's one of them horrible things. Right, we'll get into the questions because there's a shitload tonight, and we'll answer them as quick as we can. So you should shut your mouth. And
Yes,
don't
but
just keep on
Leasers
going
flags,
digressing.
support them.
Leasers.
Leasers.
Right, Martin Garrick sends in. What was you gan on about?
This is a question
Martin
just to you.
Garrick doesn't sound Geordie at all, does he? What was you gan on
Especially
about
when he's like
with the
Norwegian
arena
or
training
Swedish.
ground stuff? Never heard it before. Did I make that up?
You
Have
made
I
that
heard
up.
that before?
You made that up
You
last
heard
week.
it?
Arena
You not
training
get
Couldn't hear a
that?
word you were
It
saying.
was you.
He said, what
I couldn't hear
was
what you
you
were saying.
done
Training
on
ground
about?
stuff. Do you know when
You said
I
last
mentioned
week.
Metro Radio Arena?
Just
That
one.
site.
Just one voice.
That site, Metro Radio site.
Yeah.
No, it's not
Oh,
Metro
yes, yes.
Radio Arena.
Not
site.
Metro Radio.
It's
Metro, the
next to it.
what do you call it? What's it called?
It is the Metro Radio Arena.
Yeah.
That's what I just fucking said.
Aye, but it's not that actual site. It's next to it from there down to the river.
How do you know? It was me that was saying it.
Because that was where you were talking about.
No, I wasn't. I was talking about the arena. They're knocking it down because they're not using it anymore.
That's true.
Because it's shifting.
That's
Oh,
true.
they're going to be moving.
And that's
it
what
over
Stabley
to
wanted.
the
Whoa.
They're moving near you.
I've got tickets for there for me.
They're moving near
But
you.
they're not going to move it next week.
All right.
Next week. It's going to be a while away.
It's
But
going to be a couple of
they're
years.
knock it
Moving
down.
it to
Where are they
Gateshead.
going to fit it?
They're moving it to Gateshead next to the Baltic. And
Ah, it's going between there, but it's not a very big site.
It is.
It's not.
It is, man. They've
It's
got
not,
that
man.
great big car park and just a massive.
What, so
bit
they're
of
going to get rid of the car
wasteland.
park?
We're
It's
going to
got a
party
big
car.
wasteland next to the.
It's not a big
Gateshead
site.
College.
It's not a big site, man.
It's just, well, luckily it's not a construction.
Do you reckon this is what council meetings are like?
Just full of
Oh, they
pigs.
can it? Car parks are that big. Well, we're going to
What I
park
was
a car.
saying was the bit that's next to the arena that then runs down to the river. That's all owned by Bellway Homes now because they bought that.
No, well, I
how
was
far?
talking about the actual
Wait, hang on.
arena
From where? From the arena?
So from the
From the bottom?
where the arena is,
Aye.
where you come across the Redgiff,
Aye.
you look down to your left.
Well, never mind Bournemouth. How do you say Redhugh Bridge?
Redgiff?
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 Redhugh in it?
Redhugh?
Who was it? Reggie?
Look, I grew up listening to Marky Mark and Starburst One telling me there was traffic backed up on the Redhugh Bridge.
Oh, that's because Marky Mark's from Tynemouth.
I'll not have it.
Right,
Can you finish the question?
right. What was you going on about with the
It's a
arena
question.
training ground?
It's a
stuff? That's
question
what I
to
said.
you. That.
Do you know? You fucking shut your mouth. Do you know what
I don't
Shut
want
up.
to. I don't want to tell you how to run your podcast, but this definitely doesn't seem like the kind of question that gets
hell,
10 minutes at the end.
Right, we're skipping
Just
that.
say
Right.
I've got no idea.
Shut
what I
up,
was talking
man!
About because you've clearly got no idea.
With Rafa 2 points off 8th, what do you have to say to the pundits early in the season?
Is it the same thing?
Haha, told you so.
Lol.
Anything to say to them?
Aye, fuck off. Redknapp respect. I still can't get over Redknapp, you know. I always remember that
Who,
Huddersfield
Harry?
game away, and it was just before we kicked off, and he just went for it like big time. And he just says, there's a massive uplift about Huddersfield. They've been spending money.
Which one?
First
Churchill Dog
game of the
Redknapp or
season,
Cocker
wasn't
Spaniel
No,
Redknapp?
Jamie.
That's Cocker Spaniel
Second
Redknapp.
game of the season, wasn't it?
Second game of the season, and he was like, them have come up with more bounce about them. I said, we've won that league.
Well,
We've
even
won
the-
league, we've just been promoted.
Dead cat bounce.
Hey,
The
honestly,
Swansea game?
A dead cat bounce.
Remember the Swansea game? When
remember,
all
yeah.
were talked about
Ah,
was
I remember that, Swansea.
Oh
how
my
great
God.
Swansea were.
Who was that
How
guy
great that Portuguese kid was going to be.
Renato Sanchez.
in the world.
Owned him. Marino just owned him for 90 minutes. Unbelievable, that, you know. Unbelievable.
That was what it was like for the first
Do you know these
3 or 4
questions?
months.
We should just
Sorry.
supposed to answer these questions as quick as we can.
Okay,
rather than asking
right,
questions
we'll-
within questions.
We'll do our best.
Sorry.
Right, you also sent in, following on from my curry question, which was last week.
Oh,
What sort of
yeah.
curry would Rafa be?
Wrong.
Ooh.
Decker, this is for you.
Okay.
Adam's broke something.
Would you put ketchup on your curry?
Did you not answer this last week?
No, Chinese I have. So I go online, I get a house curry special with fried rice. And I'm telling you, red sauce in the fried rice is amazing.
Look, right. I did my research, right? I did watch the bit where you were going on about
Oh,
fucking Chinese you get. You put ketchup on your Chinese.
honestly, huh?
he's
Not every time.
absolutely wrong,
Let's get
isn't
something straight here. Not every time, but I have.
It doesn't matter whether it's every time.
I did it the other day.
Twice,
Actually,
3
did
times.
we
Even
make
if you
that
do it
feedback?
once.
My mate who I was with at the time, where it is, where the bins. Right. My daughter and his daughter.
Careful now.
Yeah, I did know that. My daughter and his daughter had like a sleepover.
Decker told me last week you had to sleep over bins.
And then they just hung us out to dry. It was my own child.
Genuinely, I'd rather you had to sleep over with Ben's and put ketchup on Chinese. There's a bigger crime in my
No,
book.
honestly,
Exactly.
but I don't understand.
Exactly.
It's a sauce. It is what it is, but it is lovely though.
It's tomato sauce.
I'm well aware what it is.
Right.
Moving on.
Technically
But curry, you know about curry?
to preserve.
Yeah. Indian curry.
I've never ever done it with curry. Never.
Do you want to try?
Good.
I will. But I've never tried. No,
Curry
I've
vinegar.
never tried it with curry.
With,
honestly.
If you have curry sauce, would you put vinegar on it?
Oh, right. There's a lot at work. Hi, Scott. We had a big conversation about curries. I like a Boonamy, or I like a Balti, I like this, blah, blah, blah. And you went, I've had the most amazing curry the other day. I had what was it called? It was called a korma, and I had it with loads of vinegar on it. And all of a sudden,
vinegar
but
and
30
korma.
people work in our office. No matter how far back in the room they were sat, whether they could hear them or not, just all of a sudden there was 30 people all going.
Just turn inside out.
And now all of a sudden he's like, well, have you ever tried it? We're like, no, I haven't, mate.
Why?
But
There's a reason
He
why.
has got a
Vinegar
point
and
though.
a
No, he
korma.
has got a point
No,
there. 'cause
korma's sweet and
I
like.
didn't care, but he's got a point though. If you haven't tried it, it's hard to knock it though, isn't it? It's hard to knock it when you haven't tried it.
no.
I'm telling you now, get a Chinese, put some tomato sauce in
Here
the
it
areas
is.
which
Here
are
it is. The Adam
important.
Johnson defence.
Right, true, right. But it's tremendous.
I might try it with like some like chow mein or something like that. So a gravy.
Right, go on then. Right, and try it. I'm telling you now.
That might
Fried
do.
rice with tomato sauce in it is unbelievable.
Just
as well.
leave the vinegar alone. Just leave it in the cupboard.
Yeah, but
Chinese curry
Stop pointing at
with
us.
vinegar is fine.
You
Chicken
make-
korma with
Vinegar
vinegar,
needs
absolute
you.
wrong.
Can you just say that on the camera so I can send him this? His name's Scott.
Do not eat chicken korma with vinegar. You absolute
Yeah, that's
wrongin'.
pretty wrong. Well, I can't really say much, can I? Really, to be fair.
I
Like,
know. Yeah.
yeah, I can't say that.
Right,
Tomato sauce look badly,
Luke
Terry.
Powell sends in, if the unthinkable happens, and the 3 January loan signings sign permanent deals, would you want to sign after that?
I think one's a definite.
Yeah, Dubravka's already here. I'm not really excited about that.
That's done.
Road rash?
Kennedy's
done.
a maybe.
Apparently, I mean, I remember.
Rafa
I
wants him.
remember after,
He wants to
after the
stay.
Southampton game, we were like, "Oh God, I wish we could get him," but he'd be a good 20, 30 million maybe. Apparently Chelsea.
12 or
Apparently Chelsea went, "Oh no, I'm really kidding, man. He's about 12 million." So
Buy him immediately.
Then we should have went.
the thing is,
pull that in the contract.
I read the
If
deal by
we-
Munich one, but
if we finish in the top half, the advantage we have is we can go to him and say, "Look, a lot of good clubs are going to want you, but do you want to find yourself in the exact same situation you were currently at Chelsea, where you're going to be playing, you either play a position you want to play, or you play second fiddle to someone who plays where you do? Whereas we will play."
Good point.
He's came and he's.
But to answer that question, I would like someone really good who can play both left and right back.
Striker. Need a striker.
If we got Slimani, who was apparently Mitrovic but really quick over to 15 yards. Aye, pretty right.
Need a striker.
Aye, right.
I don't think.
Luke also goes on to slag you off a bit for ketchup. It's
fine.
Good.
Dom sends in podcast sponsor.
Hi Dom.
Should Shelvey and Lascelles? Why can't I talk?
Shelvey.
It's that me full. Talk. Should Shelvey and Lascelles go to the World Cup? I think Shelvey definitely should, but Lascelles isn't ready for a major tournament.
Selfish? No, they shouldn't.
I don't want either of them to. I don't want them to.
I think they should though. Not
This
do you want them to
this
go?
genuinely annoys me about the conversation that always surrounds international call-ups. Like a lot of people see it as like they always say that, oh, he deserves to go to the World Cup. Like, oh, he's played well, he deserves this or he deserves that. A World Cup squad is a 23-man like starting 11
So
plus whatever.
I'll ask the question: are Shelvey and Lascelles better than what's there right
It depends.
now in the 23?
Like you look at this set, like Lascelles is a bit of a muchness. Like I think the two lads who was it Tchaikovsky and whoever else, they play three at the back, so they're probably more qualified to play for that England side than Lascelles is because Lascelles
They're
plays.
more comfortable
And
on the
Rafa,
ball
yeah.
as well, aren't they, than
But
themselves.
when you look at the midfielders England are going to take, none of them can do with the football what John Joe Shelvey can do. Yeah. But if Gareth Southgate is not an idiot. Like he's not going to take players to, he's not going to spite himself with them. If he just thinks, you know what, like I know he can unlock teams from deep, he can do this, that, and the other. If that's never how I'm going to play, no point taking him. Like if he only wants runners and grafters and hard workers, then no reason to take Shelvey.
So I seen it. Livermore had a shot yesterday, and then the commentator says that is his second shot on target this season.
Wow.
That's dreadful.
How can he be ahead of Shelvey? I didn't care what Shelvey does actually, but
because the England manager might not want centre midfielders who shoot. And look, don't get me wrong.
It sounds stupid.
At no point am I going to say that that's what he should be doing. But if Gareth Southgate,
but then, so if we take that away from that, then, which is a fair comment, right? Okay, he might not want centre midfielders that want to score goals, which I find strange. But if he does,
I agree with you. Yeah.
Then I don't understand. There's nothing Livermore for me that can do that Shelvey isn't better at.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and ever say
just an upgraded version.
I'm never going to say Livermore is a better player than Shelvey at any measurable metric. But the way people look at it is like, well, Shelvey's really turned himself around. He's improved his discipline. He stopped being so inconsistent, so he deserves to go. That's not the argument for me. Look, if Gareth Southgate wants options in centre midfield and takes Livermore ahead of Shelvey, then he's a fucking idiot and he deserves to go out in the group stages, which he's inevitably going to do.
So don't swim this podcast.
Do you think that? Do you think that player should go on form though? Like, do you think like?
No, I don't think.
Whenever was an England player picked on form?
I don't think form or deserving it should matter.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So when you say it doesn't matter, so you take someone that's out. If you say Joe Hart, for example, and start him number one.
No, because I think even form aside, there are three better goalkeepers than he is in terms of ability.
Right, that's fit. No, I agree with that.
I know the point you're trying to make.
There is, but none of them are any good.
No,
really,
Pickford's good.
Pickford's good. Butland's good, and
Butland's good. Yeah.
Who's the lad at
bottom of the league? But
who's lad at Burnley? Who was Pope? Is Pope Australian or is he English?
No, he's been the squad.
Pope,
Right, next question.
He's what?
Tom Heaton, aye. Tom Heaton.
He played at Temple Park. So
next question. Right. Stephen Howlett sends in, what's your thoughts on supporters that vlog at games?
Just watch the game.
They do what, sorry?
Vlog.
What's
so
that mean?
they do this. So something's happening.
I'm not down with the kids,
and they're
sorry.
just recording themselves like this, watching
the
the game.
Should be slapped immediately.
Right. I should say
immediately.
As soon as I leave here, not for the fucking football. I'm about to leave here and go to a studio in Gateshead to record me and a friend, basically videoing ourselves reacting to the wrestling. Like that is, we've built like 5 million subs off the back of that business model. But
so people watch your reaction to someone getting body slammed.
Aye.
Yeah, which I understand that context there.
There's
but
a
when
huge...
you're sitting
When
physically
you're sitting watching
in that arena watching it.
I just want to make that like we react to what's going on in things. So the idea is you watch what we're watching and you put us on at the same time.
Your focus isn't at that camera directly. Your focus is surely on
the
what
focus
you're
is
watching,
never about us, and that's what because look, my entire job is YouTube.
You
like
look very confused
the
by
entire
this, don't you?
the entire business model behind our company is YouTube, and it's about sort of reacting to not what we think is like worthy in a critical or a journalistic sense. It's about what we think is gonna get the most views. Yeah, what people are gonna find entertaining, what people are gonna tune into every week, they're gonna subscribe to, they're gonna share, etc. I remember when Arsenal Fan TV first started, and it was completely different to every other fan thing that was out there. Like when I was like going through uni and like wanting to get into football journalism, you had to be a brilliant writer. You had to be giving this level of insight,
shorthand and all.
Yeah, but not just that, but you had to be smart, you had to be clever, you had to be doing something that was. If you think about like, people will pay money for a newspaper, or they were going to subscribe to a major thing. If you could offer something that was like better or as good as that for free on your blog, then that would get you noticed, that would get you jobs, etc., etc., etc. And then when Arsenal Fan TV came along, they did something different. They were like, right, there's no actual insight here. There's no actual skill to this. There's no actual...
What do you mean, fam?
What do you mean, fan blood? It's with fan blood. But the thing was, like, everyone was dead sniffy about it. Oh, these are just a load of idiots.
But it was relatable.
Yeah, but all the press, all the newspapers, like, well, we'll never do anything like this. This is beneath us. And then all of a sudden, it was wiping the floor with every major UK outlet.
Still is, isn't it?
And well, it still is. And the problem is that all the young lads have gone from sort of like looking at like journalists and thinking, oh well, if I want to do football stuff, I want to be noticed for doing football stuff, I have to be the next football journalist. I have to be the next this. I have to be the next that. Now they see that and go, oh, that's a piece of piss. That I'm an idiot as well. I'll just video myself at the match, and so long as I don't have to say anything interesting. I don't have to go over the top. I just have to do something that instead of. Remember back in the day, if something ever happened, you'd be like, "Oh, have you read this? Have you read this article? It's really good. He says this. He says that." Now it's like, "Have you seen this?" And it's so much easier to get that reaction than it is to get that one. And so
I didn't like the world we're going down then. If that's the case, I'll be very honest.
People have said that for 30, 40, 50, 60.
I can't stop it. I'm not powerful enough, unfortunately.
Look, don't get me wrong.
It's shit though.
Anybody who gets good numbers and makes a good living out of literally just going 2-0 like down their own phone lens, fair play to them.
I credit them. They're making money off.
The only reason that gap in the market exists is because the traditional press has not matched demands that have been there.
I think maybe what he's meaning here is like you're at a match and you're there for the atmosphere in regards to what it is as a football game. And if you score a goal and you're too busy looking down a lens, like yourself almost, I don't.
But that represents the new press. Like you could easily say if you're there for the atmosphere.
If he's recording the goal or something, then but it's actually on him.
Get the Premier League up your arse.
Like I seen this young kid. There's a young kid on there, and there's some substitution happens or something. I remember on YouTube, and you know when you watch a video on YouTube, then it selects the next one. This young kid's like going ballistic about the substitution.
Oh look, don't get me wrong. I can't watch it. My career is much a product of that system as everything bad is. I can't watch that. I think it's. I don't think there's any insight in it. I hate it.
I'll be honest. If you're saying you've got 5 million subscribers, hey, good on you.
But look,
I'm in the minority here.
But not from sitting at the match talking about substitution.
Going back to his.
But it's part of the same. I can't with a straight face lay into that without acknowledging that what we do at WhatCulture is very similar to that. It appeals to the same audience.
I would say it's totally different because in essence, what you're doing is becoming that commentator or that pundit sat in a studio
with a camera for his name
commentating or
no, but it goes into the same gap in the market that does. Like people don't want to like wait for an hour or 2 hours after the event to sort of go through like a very analytical look at it. They want to experience the emotion. They want people to just to share that same thing. And while we do try and do it a lot better than that, like we try and offer something that's genuinely interesting to watch, But at the same time, it is literally just a couple of dickheads sat there with a camera pointed at them while it's happening.
So do you won't show that? You won't be able to show the rest of them, will you? Is that correct?
No, God, no, we can't.
So
No.
it's just use
Camera's
that.
face,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
We do the whole way through it where like, look, we are at this point, to try and get your thing to line up with us. So it's kind of like we try and present the idea that we're there, which you can't do with football.
Right.
It's like
yet.
all, like majority of tellies now, you can get that little box in the corner where you can watch the internet on that little
Yeah.
box. And
But that's kind of the market.
You want to watch the main event and obviously watch what they're reacting to in that top.
That's kind of the market we go for.
If you go
Like
back to
have us
Sky
along with
Sports,
it.
It's when they used to have the
Fan commentary, Fanzone was brilliant. It was, and it was.
good.
And the thing was, Sky looked at Fanzone as a real novelty. They looked at it as like a bit of a freak show, a bit like nobody was coming to watch the football for Fanzone, but the numbers on it grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, and all of a sudden people realized, you know what, I don't want some dry bloke who played football 40 years ago telling me that David Seaman was 10 yards further ahead for that corner than he should have been. I want somebody who's going to share the emotion with me.
It was
And
surprising the stuff.
It's like
that
when a goal goes in, you don't want somebody going, "Oh, what a great goal that was." You want somebody
No,
louting
no,
around
yeah.
again, ballistic.
It was mint, like it was very good.
Because ultimately, what's the better experience, like commentary or being there?
And that's the bit I don't get
And
about
what
people
better-
vlogging at the game is that they're not there enjoying the game. They're there.
They're not, but
Doing
when you
someone
watch it
else's.
back, it's a closer experience to you being there than it is to you just listening to the analysis.
Yeah. If
Don't get
you're
me
not
wrong.
there, I can understand.
There's always going to be people, myself included, who would rather listen to something like this where we pick through it and we bring up interesting points about it, we come up with different points of view, maybe we argue about it. I would much rather personally enjoy that level of punditry, but the fact is there's a fucking huge market for people who just basically want to get the experience of shouting and cheering all over again.
I agree.
So that's what I think.
But I think it is two separate things.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the things I've seen people at the match recording themselves, they're more focused on looking at the camera and not looking at what's going ahead. Now imagine what you do. You're looking at what's happening in front of you on the telly, you're watching that, hoping that you're going to get people watching you.
Well, you're almost Gogglebox, really, in a way. In a sense.
Yes.
Very similar to that,
yeah.
yeah. Very similar. But again, that's part of the reason. Rather than imagine if Channel 4 had just done a show where a load of random people went through the week's television talking about what they liked and what they didn't like.
Could be like that.
Yeah, I don't care. But then they didn't do it. They basically got normal people to relive the experience people were getting. It's just
No, you're right, you're spot on.
there's that demand for it.
It's the difference between Gogglebox and points of view, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wish he's had to said this 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. But like, there's a lot of so many people try and recreate it now because it's very easy to do. You just have to literally be sat on the ground with a phone and you can recreate it. But the difference between like a couple of lads who are buzzing because they get like 48 views on their.
That's what we get.
Not this week, guys. Don't worry. A couple of lads who get 48 views and like, I don't as loath as I am to praise them. Something like, Arsenal Fan TV that gets 250,000,
I'm glad you said that.
500,000. Like it's.
I think the thing with that is that they got it originally because of the novelty value, and even
Got
now
the TV show on Channel 4
is
coming
it
up, man.
because
They're living the
it's
dream.
still the novelty value is because they want to see what embarrassing stuff comes out.
That's all it is. That's all it is. That is all it is.
That's part of the shareability factor.
That's what it is.
If it's embarrassing, it'll get shared around.
Right, well, we've got another like 30 questions, yeah, so I think we'll better call it a night.
Yes, no, yes, maybe.
One more.
One more
Well,
question.
one more.
Would you like a fun one or a fun? Would you like a fun question?
Was that Conway? My
um,
battery's done apparently.
Romeo done. Right.
Good flag.
Ask Adam when the next NUFC fans forum have gone.
We're working on it.
Why is Adam actually Christian Eriksen?
He ain't as pretty as me.
Right, we'll end with this one. Name the football equivalent of tomato sauce on a Sunday dinner.
Oh, I saw the second half of this.
Stephen Island.
Oh God, it is. Yeah, nothing technically wrong with it, but just
Stephen
don't.
Island. Your Sunday dinner is Stephen Island.
Pardew? Great British institution ruined by unnecessary flair.
Yes.
D-
Your Sunday dinner is Alan.
Not unpleasant to look at, but certainly wrong to the taste.
So,
Fall out, me and him. Yeah.
in my opinion, tomato sauce on a Sunday dinner is quite simply Adam Johnson.
Nuts. I just called you a nonce.
What was the thing about the shirt that you were going to do?
The Galacticos.
Oh yeah. So tonight's shirt
Northern Cock.
Boom song shirt.
It is
this
Boom
one.
Songs, isn't it? Yeah.
So there's an actual reason why I'm wearing this shirt today.
It's the only one that was washed.
I was going to do that. I was going to do that.
It has got a special significance to today.
Shiva's
So-
last goal.
Today. Shearer's last goal at the stadium, like
Oh yes.
That's me guess anyway.
number 206. That's today.
My dad's got
And
that
he
shirt
wore
as well,
that.
you know.
There you go.
True
You've
story.
just fucking spoiled.
Oh, sorry. Oh, there's maybe a question.
Thanks to Deckard, nobody's winning a badge this week.
Oh shit! What minute was it recording?
So the
Oh,
shirt
shit.
I'm
Sorry, I
wearing
didn't.
this. It is 12 years ago today.
Right.
12 years ago to the day that
Shiva.
we beat Sunderland 4-1 at the Stadium of Shite,
I was in the home end. I had to
and
go
it
home end
was
to watch that
Mr. Shearer's last goal.
one. It was.
Last
Dad's
game?
got that real
Last
shirt
game?
on his
So
wall.
and his last, well, technically it wasn't because he did get that.
He did bang two past
awful
Celtic.
That
penalty,
doesn't count, man.
So, but he's
No,
got
his
his
last ever goal. Yeah.
Professional game.
last professional game and goal.
Right,
And
we'll
even
call
now
it.
that Lucas scored.
Right, we'll call it.
Way.
Right, before you start blabbering on about something else, we'll go on like there's no battery left.
Chopra scored. Lucas scored.
Shut the fuck up, man. Right. Thanks
1-0
for watching.
down.
And Zogby, I scored
Thanks for
clap,
listening.
right?
4-1 up.
Subscribe to the channel because
Gavin Hoyt
You're
scored.
still talking over the Thomas. Thanks to the
With an
sponsors,
Paddy
International
Wack.
Glass Consultants and Guglielmo Clothing.
How are the glass?
Did I get everything out there while you were all talking?
I think so. Yeah.
Probably.
Right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you very much, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
See you
Been a pleasure.
next week.
See you in Europe.
Maybe.
Next week.
See you. Yes. That'll do.
Bold statement.
Bye.
Good night.